Welcome to Boxing Profiles. I'm your host, Tony Prince. Today I'm here with Robert Parham, actor Robert Parham, and world champion. Okay? We also have Kirby Delaney here. Also, she's actor and former points fighter. Okay? So we're here today to discuss a little bit about some of the fighting arts, such as kickboxing, a little bit of MMA, boxing, okay, as well as point karate. So without further ado, I'll have them introduce themselves to you, and we can go from there. Okay.
All right. So, been on your show before. Had a great time. For those you don't know, I'm Robert Parham. Right now, well, Dr. Robert Parham, writer, director, actor, producer. Actually, we just produced some movies that starred Kirby Delaney called Soul Cage. I'm gonna let her tell you more about that.
Hey guys, so my name is Kirby Delaney. I'm the world brick breaking champion. Robert Parham directed Soul Cage. I was his starring role, and it was awesome. Good action movie and getting business done.
Getting it done.
Just getting it done, huh?
Getting it done. Took us a long time to make that movie.
Exactly how long? How long was it? Years, months? Or?
Years. Years. It was years because we went through some changes in personnel. Went through some changes in the script. Of course, when you make a movie, you have to have funding.
Yes.
So
yes.
correct. You have to have
yes.
correct funding, and then it all came together the way it was supposed to. So
okay, cool. Well, I do understand that because I'm actually doing a mini series called The 21st Century Fighter: The New Breed.
Right.
And with the fighter that I'm training, I know that you have to make a lot of adjustments to certain parts of the production that you're going to put out. And that's what I'm finding out is one of the things. And you got to be able to put in the time in order to do that. And then now I'm on a small scale, but you're on a very, very large scale. So the funding for you is probably, I bet, gigantic. So
it was between $1 and $1 million. That's all we're gonna say.
That's a lot. That's a lot. So I mean, but the most important thing is that you had fun doing it.
Oh, we had a blast, and we were accompanied by two great actors. Eric Roberts. You may have known him when he got Oscar nominated for his role in Runaway Train. He played in The Dark Knight, Best of the Best. The list just goes on for Eric Roberts. And our other gentleman who starred in Road Warrior. Road Warrior. Help me.
Vernon Wells.
George. I always call him George. George Vernon Wells.
Okay. All right.
So and he was in.
Wait. Okay, let me cut you off for a minute. Okay, that just hit me. Road Warrior with Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that just hit me. I was just like, because when you said Road Warrior, you know what I was thinking?
What?
I was thinking of the WWE wrestlers, because that's the first thing that came to my mind. I was thinking that, I was like, no, he can't be those guys because that was Animal and Hawk, and I was going, okay, wait a second. Wow. He's talking about the Mel Gibson movie with the Road Warrior. Oh man, that just hit me. I was just like,
so we were fortunate enough to work with those fine actors, and we had the greatest time on set with those guys. So if you guys are watching, Eric and Vernon, thank you so much. We hope to work with you again really soon.
Okay, that's crazy. That's crazy. That it's just like, wait a minute. Because sometimes you don't realize that you're, who a person is, or like when you mentioned it, like I said, it didn't dawn on me. It took me a few minutes, because I've seen people when I was in San Francisco, I was walking, and Barry Bonds walked right past me. And I stopped and I was like, well, wait a minute, hold on. I said, Barry? He stopped me and said, hey, young man, how you doing? That happened with Barry. That happened with what's his name? Give me a second. He was on the TV show Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Mark Curry. Okay, now get this. I was working in a building. Mark Curry, the building had parking. Mark Kirby would park his car down in the basement. So one particular day, I was outside in front of the building, and I'm coming in, and Mark Kirby's walking out, and same thing happened. And I'm like, I know that guy from somewhere. And I stopped and looked again, and just as I looked, he looked back at me, and I said, "You are," and he said, "Yeah, that's me. I'm Mark Kirby." So I went down, I introduced myself and talked to him. And it turns out the guy he was really, really cool, very, very down to earth.
You find that most of the celebrities are. I
Mhm.
want to piggyback on a story about years ago when Dave Winfield was playing baseball when he was hot. Okay, my mom worked at Prudential in downtown Newark. So she gets on the elevator, not paying attention. She bumps into this guy, and he drops everything. She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," helps him up. "Oh, it's okay, ma'am." Just gets off the elevator. And she had a friend. He said, "Did you know who that was?" "No, that was Dave Winfield." It's like you bumped into Dave. You didn't get his autograph. You didn't
get that.
Come on,
Wow,
man.
that's crazy.
So, but you find that a lot of people who are in the public eye are really, really, genuinely, really good people. Really good people. Go ahead. You want to piggyback off of that?
Well, just like Eric Roberts, I didn't realize really who he was. I mean, I knew who he was, but I didn't realize who he was. And we're just going to keep that part of the story on the side. But when I watched Best of the Best, I was like, oh, that's who Eric Roberts was. Or is,
and I seen that movie. That was, I love that movie. I loved it, the best of the best.
Right.
And the movie title said it all. It's just like the best of the best.
Yeah.
And my goodness, man, Tommy Lee and Dahan, that was some unbelievable, high flying martial arts.
The choreography.
The choreography. And a lot of people don't get the opportunity to really, really see what these athletes can do. And there's a saying that I've been saying amongst boxers. And I might have said it last time when you was on the show last time. And one of the things that I said is, you only have, as a professional boxer, you only have 3 minutes to be great. So everything that you do matters at that particular time. You don't have any time to waste. Okay? You have to pay attention to your craft. And everything you do shows us as fans how well you paid attention to your craft. If you are able to be great, because you only have what I call a give me round, and that is your first round. Nothing else is promised to you. You if you make it out of the first round,
Right.
or should I say, if you earn the second round, because that's exactly what happens. You have to earn the second round. And so many fighters don't think about that. It's, oh man, I got a 12-round fight to go and this and that. Well, wait a minute, hold on a second here. Who you fighting?
Yeah.
How dangerous is the guy? Okay. And see, these are things that lots of people don't understand. They don't look at it this way because, this comes from when you were a fighter. You know what I'm saying? And so, and I know you guys understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
This is when you are a fighter. These are the questions that you ask. Okay, well, who are you fighting? How dangerous is this guy? What is his abilities? And these are questions that you need to ask, because if you don't ask these type of questions,
you're not going to be prepared.
You're not going to be prepared. And being prepared is the most important thing for any fighter, no matter what you're doing.
Prepared spiritually, mentally, and physically.
Yes.
If you want to keep your head on your shoulder.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? He just said something that was, this is huge. You said spiritually. Okay. Lots of people, again, do not look at the spiritual part of this. And in order for you to be prepared spiritually, you must be at peace with yourself. Your home life has to be at peace. So this way, nothing interferes with your performance that night.
Now, let me add to that.
Mm-hmm.
Not only does your home life and your surroundings have to be at peace, but when you step into the ring, you got to be willing to die.
Yes.
You got to accept the fact that you may not make it out of here the same that you stepped in.
Yes. And that's huge. Because a lot of people still, they don't look at it like, they just see the two fighters go in the ring and it's like, man, go ahead, beat the guy, knock him out, this and that. That's all they think about. But when we start getting into the in-depth of what actually the fighter is actually going through and what he is feeling and all the emotions and everything that's coming out of that, you know, people, that's the part that people do not understand. And unless you were a fighter and you were in that position, then you could talk about it. While the other guys are out there, they're guessing, you know. So, you know, and this is the thing that I say for YouTubers and anybody that's out there. And I'm saying, who are you listening to? Are you listening to a guy that just has a podcast and he's never fought before and he has great knowledge? Or are you listening to guys that actually been in the ring, that are coaching, and they really, really understand this sport? And that makes a huge difference because sometimes they give half the truth, whereas we can give the whole truth. Because you can give both sides of it. Hey, as a fan, as a coach, and as a fighter.
There's theory, there's application, and there's theory with application.
Yes, exactly. Couldn't say it better myself. And that is what people don't seem to understand. And this is why I'm glad that you know that this podcast is here, and I'm able to have folks like you guys on the show that understand and know what is going on. And again, you won't know these things unless you were a fighter, unless you were in competition, you know?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's the mindset, you know? It's that mindset, you know? So Kirby, let's tell us a little bit more about your point karate. How did you get into it? And, you know?
Well, so I started when I was 3. I have an older brother that was 10 years older than me that did it. And so being the baby and being the girl, my mom said, okay, we're going to put you in it. So honestly, from about 3 to about 10, I didn't really realize what I was doing. I mean, I knew I was doing martial arts when I got a little older. And so what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And back then, there was no gloves, no mouthpiece, no headgear, no nothing. I was like banging out there and just got addicted. It's an addiction, really. You know, it's an adrenaline rush like you guys were talking about. And then I just started going to the circuit, and I made this goal. I wanted this belt, and I kept asking my mom, when am I going to get one? When am I going to get one? She goes, your time will come. Your time will come. Well, now I have no more room. But to be honest with you, point karate, it's great. I think it's good when somebody's growing up in the circuits, you know, learning the rule, you know, learning the game and this and that. But honestly, I want to bang.
You want to bang?
I'm tired of stopping every 2 seconds point.
Yeah.
I want to do some real stuff.
So that's Mr. T's. Mr. T's.
Little word association. Huh? Benny the Jet, great fighter, good friend of mine. Yeah, he's one of the few people who can make the transition between point karate and full contact karate. He's one of the few.
Yeah.
Don Wilson, Don the Dragon, another great friend of mine. We're actually in talks of doing another movie.
Oh, wow.
A movie.
Doing a movie.
Doing a movie.
Wow.
It's based on Billy Jack. So we're in talks.
Okay. All right. Wow.
Ooh, Deckers.
Ooh.
Deckers is a dangerous man. I don't know him, but yeah, he's dangerous. And Andy Hu, God rest his soul, the Axe Kick King.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Wow. And okay, this young man that's on here is his name is Mr. Thies. Mr. Thies, okay? And he comes on the show, you know, lots of times, and he asks a lot of questions and things like that. So he's actually a really, really cool guy. I mean, he's a really, really cool guy. He's a friend of mine, you know what I mean? And he's a really, really cool guy. I mean, just really cool. And he loves all the pugilistic sports, and it's just great. But Kirby, I want to piggyback off of what you were saying about your family. Okay, I come from a large family. And it was 5 boys and 1 girl. And my 2 older brothers, okay, I'm like the second to the baby. Yep. So my 2 older brothers, Donnie and Lamar, they used to go to the boxing gym. Right. And Donnie kind of stopped, the oldest one, he kind of stopped. But my brother Lamar, he continued going. Yeah. And my brother Lamar got so good that we had a guy by the name of Bobby Duncan that lived back in Hackensack, New Jersey. He was a Golden Gloves champion, and my brother was able to beat him. He was able to beat him, and my brother never went to the Golden Gloves, but he learned how to box. He learned how to fight, so he was able to beat Bobby Duncan. And I was like, well, wait a minute, okay, I like that. And he had a best friend named Johnny Gonzalez, and Johnny and Lamar would go together, and they would always be sparring and be fighting with each other. And you think they were trying to kill each other, but it was just a friendly competition. So they both got really good. And so when I started boxing, my brother, he saw me. I wasn't doing so good at first. And my brother, he says, "You're not doing so well." He said, "You know what?" He says, "Let me and Johnny show you some stuff." Now, don't get me wrong. I had coaches, okay? I had some really good coaches. But it's nothing like you learning from one of your brothers, okay? And a close personal friend of the family. So I started learning, I started doing the things that my older brother was doing. And I found out that they were working. And I was like, well, wait a minute. So I told my coach about it. He said, look, if it works, keep doing it. He said, we'll build off of that. So that's what happened.
That's good.
Lo and before you know it, it just started clicking. Everything started clicking, So then when I got into the kickboxing world, now this right here, this is gonna amaze you, okay? And the reason why I'm saying this is gonna amaze you is because, okay, for me, I've never went to the amateurs. I never went to the amateurs. Not one amateur fight. Okay? I went straight to the pros. And people were like, how can you just go straight to the pros? You need to fight amateurs. I said, no, I don't. I don't need to fight an amateur. And the reason why I didn't need to fight amateurs is because, number one, I had nothing but total confidence in my coach. The coach that I had back east, his name was Keith York. And he was ranked number 1 in the world when he was fighting. Ranked number 1. He was the man, the best. And the things that he taught me, man, my pro debut, when I fought, okay, the promoter, I knew the promoter, and the promoter would see me, he said, dude, you need to be fighting. And I was just like, nah, I didn't know, I didn't really want to do it. But then I decided, I said, you know what, I'm going to do it. So I did it, and my very first fight, I fought the ranked number 8 contender in the world.
Wow.
In the world. Now, everybody was like, well, wait a minute, wait. Why would you put a guy that's making a pro debut in the ring with a guy that's ranked number 8 in the world? And the promoter said, do you really think that I would make a mistake like that? He says, this guy is going to surprise you. Just watch him. And
well, it's all about training and your attitude.
It's about, training, your attitude, all the things that you can, that I was able to do in the ring because I studied, I made myself,
Another thing that helped you was your boxing background.
Exactly.
Because you will find,
yes,
and I'm not knocking kickboxers, but in my experience, most kickboxers can't box.
Exactly, yes.
So if you take their legs away, okay with them.
They're okay. They're okay with their hands. Yes.
C or D fighters with their hands.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
So that helps a lot.
And it helped a lot. And people were just like, man. And now get this: the card that I fought on was Dennis Alexio's card in Sacramento, California, at the Arco Arena. That big venue is where the fight happened. I don't like to talk about it a lot. You know what I mean? Because it's like, okay, that's just a part of to me, that's history. But I've been in there with top contenders, and also been in the ring with Tony the Tiger Lopez. And Tony at the time was a 3-time world champion. And Tony was just like, he was like, hey man, where'd you find this dude from? He's like, this dude can box. He's like, and that's what Tony was saying about. He said, dude. He says, man, this guy can box, And, I was just like, man. And, and ever since that day, me and Tony, we've been good friends. Tony's a really nice guy. We've been nothing but good friends after that, And, I got in the ring with a guy by the name of Rudy Lovato. He was out of the Capital City Boxing Gym in Sacramento. And now this particular day, I don't know what it was. I wasn't feeling it. I really wasn't feeling it. But Rudy's a boxer, but he's a mover. He moves a lot. He stick and move, right? I mean, the very first punch that he threw a punch, and it kind of was like a straight punch and then came down. And it kind of hit me here, and it went down like this. So he left a bruise coming like this down the side of my face, right? And it wasn't a very big one, but it was just, you know, that little space you have right here. And it just kind of, the glove just kind of did like that. So it kind of was a little here on the nose and just right, and just very slightly here. And I was like, okay. So I started using the defense. After that, he didn't hit me another shot. Every shot, I was blocking every single shot. After we got done, we did that for three rounds. And so his coach said, hey, let's stop this. And then I said, for what? I'm not hurt. He goes, no. He says, my fighter can't even hit you. He said he can't even hit you. He says we're not learning nothing here. You know what I mean? Because he was going into a world title fight, and the champion was left-handed. And I was like, well, all I have to say, you know, give you constructive criticism. If you can't hit me, what do you think the champ's going to do?
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And I told him, now, the defense that I use is, I don't know if you ever heard of the Armadillo Defense. Okay, the Armadillo Defense is what I use, okay? And you know, it's the counter to the shoulder roll, right? So what happens is, you know, you're in a high guard position. And while you're in that high guard position, you learn how to, it's just small little movements that you do just for like someone's throwing an uppercut, just it's like a little roll, you know what I mean? And you keep your hands up here. So what happens, somebody, if they throw a jab, you block the jab, right? And then if they throw in the hook, your hands are right here. So you just go, just all you have to do. It's just small little things to manipulate what they're doing. And then you want to catch them when they are pulling their punches back. That's your window of opportunity and your timing to strike. And see, people, even I'm watching boxers now, and they're not doing that. They're not timing their fighters. And it's just like, wow, how far away we got away from boxing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, from the timing part of it, from what I'm seeing, you know, with the fighters, the way they're all flat-footed and just standing there and just punching and punching. It's like, wow.
I think Tyson Fury does follow a retraction. Tyson Fury does it pretty well. I think that, as much as I hate to say this, I think Crawford does it pretty well. That pained me to say that.
Why? I mean, no, I understand, but why would it pain you for to say? Why?
Because people think, oh, when they fight, you're going to be rooting for Crawford.
No. I understand. I do understand.
So there's a few people that do it.
Yeah.
But like, it's a lost art.
Yeah.
It's a lost art.
Yeah. It's like the jab. The jab's a lost art. Okay. Now, getting back to kickboxing. Okay. What I find that is a lost art in kickboxing is that front kick that they do. Okay, Kirby, you can expound on this. The front snap kick that they do. Who was it? Was it Superfoot Wallace that used to use his front foot almost like a jab?
Yep.
Yeah. Superfoot Wallace.
Superfoot, the roundhouse.
Yeah, the roundhouse and that kind of stuff. So you can expound on that a little bit.
Well, it's like the perfect kick for a fight. In point karate, you know, you get out there, you're jumping around. A lot of people expecting a back knuckle or some hook kick or something. And so my game is, you know, I just kind of play around, step off one side, let them run in, and I slip that front foot. They run into it every time. You can do it 10 times, and they'll run into it the 9th time.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so it's a really, really good kick. It's they don't expect it. Like I said, they expect all this show stuff. I like to keep my stuff basic and just, you know, like you were saying earlier, you got to make that first fight count.
Yes.
When you get in there, my motto is on points. If you can score a point every 3 seconds, you're walking out first. Yes. You know, and which I don't care about that. The thing is, be first, be quick, get out.
That's right.
You know, get in, get out. So one of my instructors up where I'm at, he's a grappler, boxer, kickboxer. And so right now he's kind of out, but I've been playing around with him a little bit because actually I'm kind of I want to get into more of the kickboxing thing. Because I'm out right now, you know. Everybody gets a little out of it, but that's okay.
That's the animal in the basement.
That's the animal in the basement. Yeah.
That's trying to get out.
You know.
But no, it's, you know, it's all around fun sport,
Yeah.
you know, and it's interesting to watch, and I have the perfect mentor right
There you
there.
go.
So,
There you go.
you know, my thing is, if you got good instructors, you know, people that's been there, been
Mhm.
around the block, then you got a lot to learn. If you're humble
Yes.
enough to keep your mouth shut and your ears open, you're gonna learn.
Yes. Yes.
And that's what I like to do. You know,
Yes.
you can never not learn enough.
Yeah, that's
Right.
true.
So I mean, the martial art world, boxing, kickboxing, whatever it may be,
Yeah. Mhm.
it just goes.
It just
you
keeps
know?
going. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
so as long as it keeps going,
Yeah.
Kirby's gonna keep
Keep
going.
going. Keep going. Yeah. Okay. Like with me, right? Okay. I'm 60 years old. Okay. Yeah. She's looking at me like. She's looking at me like what?
Wow.
You know. Yeah. I'm 60. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be 61 in December. But for me, what's still left in my basement,
Mhm.
I'm giving to the fighter that I'm training right now. Actually, the fighters that I'm
Right.
training right now. So I'm giving that stuff to them, and then let the stuff that comes out of me into them,
Right.
so that they can show everyone what's in my
But
basement.
he's not telling
Okay.
you all the facts.
No,
He's not telling all the facts. All right, because I work with. This is what he does, right? He's saying this, y'all, because he wants to. I'm imparting my knowledge, but he's holding the pens like he's fighting you.
Right.
He's throwing at you.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta like, whoa, hey man, I thought we was doing some mitt work.
Well, no. Now that you told him that, I guess I gotta say it. No, he's absolutely right. Because what I try to mimic what's going to happen to you inside that ring. And that's what the mitt work should be all about. You know,
Yeah.
I see everybody now, and, you know, ever since Floyd Mayweather, you know, Floyd was for real with what he was doing.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people that do mitt work now that I'm just like, you're doing that for showmanship. You're not doing it for being inside the ring. And I could tell the difference, you know, because I see these guys, they're on Instagram, they're on YouTube, and they hitting the mitts, and it looks really, really good.
Yeah.
But you can't apply that inside the ring, okay? And they would say, well, why would you say that? Because fighters, we know what it takes in order for you to apply something like that, okay? And there's small little subtle moves that's not being done that we know you have to do it. And that's how we know it's all showmanship.
And you see them throwing the mitts.
Yes.
You're not punching the mitts. The mitts are punching you because
Yes.
people are throwing their little right hand like this.
Yes.
You know, they just turn over.
Yes.
You know, I mean, come on. Man.
Yeah. Come on. You know, they're not following through. And there's a lot of things that you know that we as fighters we could pick out. It's like when you see a guy doing point karate, you know if this guy is really you don't know.
Yeah.
You'll be like, really, dude? I mean, you know, people look at you and say, what are you talking about? He's not even doing it right. It's small things that they don't see.
Right.
But as a fighter, we see them.
Right.
You know.
And it all stems back to little basics.
Yes.
That's all it is.
Yes.
Little basics. You
Yes.
know, just like you said, the way you move or the way
Yes.
you block, or
Yes.
you know, it's all basics, and that is very true. What irritates me a lot is if whenever I was in the ring fighting, you know, they tell me, "Oh, Kirby, why did you do this? Why did you do that?" I'll tell you what. Why don't you go in the ring and do it? It's so much easier to try to tell somebody from the outside of the ring of what you're supposed to do. But then when you get in there, that's what they don't know. Not
Right.
being a fighter, your mind is going 10 million miles a minute.
You know what? That's great point. And the reason why that's a great point is, you know, the people on the outside are looking in, okay? But any good coach will adapt to what the fighter is doing in the ring, okay? Especially if you trained him, and he's trained very, very well. You taught him to make the right decisions, okay, and throw the right punches. If a person does this, you do that, and he knows what to do and when to do it.
Yep.
For a coach to get back and say, "Why ain't you listening to me?" This and that is that you could that those two are not in sync with each other, because you know you have to watch what that fighter is doing. But the main reason why you're there is I got all confidence in my fighter. I know what my fighter is going to do.
Yeah.
I'm watching what the opponent is doing, where he makes his mistakes. Then I tell my fighter, "Hey, look, he keep dropping that front hand. I want you to come over with an overhand right. step to the side, come up with an uppercut, and make them go night-night, you know? And that's what you're supposed to do as a coach. You're watching the opponent where he makes his mistakes. You do watch your fighter. Hey, man, get your hands up, you know? Okay, you need to be on your toes. Small little things like that. And you tell your fighter, hey, because this is what I do with my fighters. Okay, what do you see? What did you see? Oh, well, man, hey, you know, the guy keeps his backhand, he keeps bringing it way down low. Okay, so what are you going to do? You know what I mean? Set him up. Set him up for a hook shot, you know, and that's what you do. And you look at them and you watch them, you pay attention to them, and you just, you know, and that's what your job is as a coach. But, you know, so many people don't explain it. You know, they'll just say, like, oh, no, you just tell your fighter this, you tell your fighter that. It's more in depth than that, okay?
Yeah.
And again, unless you're in there.
Yeah, you gotta make those adjustments. I was
Yeah.
coaching a gentleman one time, and we were fighting in this other guy's hometown. We were in, oh, gee, where were we at? I can't remember what state we were. Anyway, we're fighting this guy, the co-main event, his hometown, and the guy's left-handed. You know, so we're doing the first round. I see my guy, very well trained, but he couldn't get off. He just couldn't get off. I said, this is what you need to do. Just like you said, what do you see? Well, I see this and that and the other, but I can't get to him. Well, you can't. It's a 4-round fight. You can't get to him because he's strong right now. In the clinch, make him walk backward. That's all you got to do. And everything else.
Correct.
And so he got the clinch. He just started walking backward. At the end of the second round, that dude was gassed. He had no legs. And then we whooped up on him.
Yeah, and see, again, you know, experienced fighters know everything you do in that ring, it matters, you know.
Yeah.
And when you putting your weight on the guy, making him walk walking backwards, you know what I mean? You're doing different things. It all matters inside the ring. Again, you know, some people think, oh man, that's not gonna tire the guy out. No, everything you do in that ring matters because it is part of a fight strategy that you put together, and for you to win the fight over a long period of time instead of knocking the guy out. And that's what Mayweather did. He made the transition from knocking people out to saying, okay, I'd rather take these guys into the deep water and beat them that way. That way, he became even more dangerous, more of a tactician, okay? People started worrying about him even more because sometimes when you just knock a guy out, there's like, well, maybe, hey man, this guy ain't never fought past the 6th round or the 7th round or the 8th round, or you know what I mean? You know what I mean? He never been to a sudden death match or something like that. You know, he's never been there. So, you know, but as you make that transition, as we start getting older and more mature as fighters, then we just take them into the deep water, and that's when you drown them.
That's it.
You know, and that's the thing that people don't understand about fighters. It's that you don't have to knock them out all the time. Just beat them. And beat them and beat them and beat them.
That's something I had to learn because my thing was go in and just get it over with.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to sit in there for 3, 4, 5 minutes. Let's just, but I'm an asthmatic too. So sometimes I had to work with that, you know. So my thing was get in and just get it done. Get it over with. Good night. See ya.
That's it.
I'm over.
Because when you fight in the point tournament, you know, you can have as little as 1 or as many as 20 fights in the night.
Right.
So what's the time frame on a point tournament when you're doing a point tournament? What's the time frame?
Well, everything changes. The last circuit I was with was Golden State Karate Association with Robin Taberna. And it was usually it was the first one of the most points in 2 minutes. And then it went to first 1 to 3, 3-point spread, you know, this and that, first 1 to 5. And then all your first place winners, of course, go to the grand champions. That's round robin. Now, I have no idea what it is. That circuit's been closed down. They retired. International Martial Arts Federation, Confederates Federation, they retired. So now I'm trying to get with something a little more. I'm just nothing against point karate. I had fun doing it, but I think that's a good thing as beginners are growing up and learning the circuits. I know what my ability is. I know what it can be if I get with the right people. So I want to get into something a little more
A little more physical.
instead of playing.
Yeah, a little bit more physical.
Now
Yeah.
I want to really play the game.
Right, I got you.
So,
I got you.
But yeah, so that's the point spread. It's just kind of
Uh-huh.
different.
Okay,
Yeah,
so well, Mr. Thieves again. A question. Here we go. Question for all three. If you had one punch to take with you to the grave
that will never degrade.
it would never degrade, what punch would it be? Good question. That's a great question. Who wants to answer it first?
I'd do a hook.
Right hook, left hook,
Right.
right hook.
Same thing, right hook. Because
You would-
I'm a southpaw.
You're a
I
southpaw.
fight
Yeah.
southpaw, so it's the right hook.
So yours would be the right
Right
hook. Wow. Wow. Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, mine would be the jab. My front hand would be the jab. And the reason why is because the jab is the key to everything. For me, it's the key for the fighting style that I fought in the Armadillo. That is one of the key components to the Armadillo was the jab. Because again, when the person is throwing that punch at you and you block it, that jab, whether it's a long jab, short jab, or a vertical jab.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How many people you see do a vertical jab?
Not many.
Not many people, right? They don't do vertical jabs, you know? And people say, well, okay, now that I said that, some people, people that watch it, they might say, what the heck is a vertical jab? You know, because we used to see Tommy Hearns do 4 different jabs, right? He throws his punch, he's got the long jab, short jab, there's that lag jab, and then here's the one that he takes his hand, he kind of puts it in your face like this. It's still a jab, but he kind of puts it in your face like that.
Yeah.
And they measure, it's a measuring jab, right? So he uses 4 different jabs with Tommy Hearns. But that vertical jab, which gives you an extra ½ inch straight punch.
Now, it's from Wing
Okay.
Chun.
It's from the Wing Chun,
Yes.
exactly. And when you learn how to use it, especially if you just happen to bring your hands here, most fighters don't see it because it kind of comes up like this, or you can shoot it straight. But majority of the fighters that I see that do it, they'll take it and they'll be fighting like this, and they'll, instead of going this way, they'll come and bop. It's very hard to see because it's coming straight at you.
Now, I got a question.
Straight at you.
I got a question.
What's that?
Granted, all power equal.
Mm-hmm.
Which jab is more effective? This one or this one? The turnover
Okay.
or the vertical?
Okay. All right. Okay. For me being a coach, the one that was more effective when my fighter hit me, I had the bodysuit on, okay? He hit me in the body with the bodysuit on. The vertical jab was more effective. I felt it more inside of my body opposed to the regular jab. The regular jab was more like just like a bop, like a thud. I got hit, you know, it's like and it bounced off. But the vertical jab, when he hit me, I felt it on the inside of my body.
Now, why is that? Why is that?
Well, it's okay. I believe it's the angle of the punch that, number one, and most people are just not expecting you to throw a punch like that. And most important, your body, when you throw this punch, your body is lined up directly to come here. All your force, your shoulder, your knuckles, everything is lined up. So you boom, and it's a very, very solid punch. And that's why the great grandmaster, God rest his soul, Bruce Lee, used that punch.
Now, see, and you're right on that. It's about proper body language. Because when people walk, just think about when you walk down the street.
Yes.
Or when you walk to your refrigerator, you don't walk like this.
Right.
You walk like this.
Yeah.
That's natural.
Your natural ability.
Natural position of your body.
Yes, that's right.
It's going to be.
It's going to be
effective.
Right. And that's what I teach my fighters also.
Yeah.
It's about your natural ability. When you're in there, you shouldn't be uncomfortable throwing any punch. You should be able to throw any punch from any angle and saying, man, no, that one's too difficult for me to do. You know, no,
Right.
because it's a natural ability. And if you learn how to use your natural abilities with that, your God-given talents that we all have, then you could be a great fighter.
Yeah.
Great reflexive fighter. Also, just like in point karate, what do they tell you? They tell us that for every action there's a reaction, right?
Yep.
So there we go.
Well, on that, with the vertical and the horizontal, I
Mhm.
would think vertical automatically, just because, you know, like you said, you're walking like
Yes.
this. You're not walking like this.
Mm-hmm.
And so why are you going to take that point something second and take it and do this
Right.
when you can just go from here with your hip?
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Bam. So,
Exactly. And you know what a punch is most effective that I find when a punch is most effective? When I watch my fighter do it, when he's in close, it's when he's in close and he does it, when he does it short. Because what happens is this, your hands are already there. Your hands are here and it's just boom, straight forward or just straight to the body. It's already and everything is lined up, the legs, everything. And you just boom, and it's just like, man, I felt like I got hit by a mule or something. You know what I mean? It's like, and you know, and
exactly.
and you can't take too many of those blows getting punched like that because it breaks down the body.
Yeah.
You know, it breaks the body down
You know,
big time.
People didn't start twisting their hands on punches until the late 1700s.
The late 1700s when they start twisting their hands.
Start
Yeah.
twisting because that's what started causing cuts.
Right, right.
So
Yes. Now, yes, that is for tearing and cutting you. That is for doing that. Yes,
That's
yeah.
and it's just been, you know, down, down,
and that, yes,
passed
yes,
down,
yes,
passed
yes,
down.
yes, yes, yes. Wow, wow. That, I mean, you be when you talk about martial arts or any of the pugilistic sports, you know, it's amazing what starts to come out.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of what we call them trinkets and here we go. Trinkets and gold start coming out of the chest, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So
Out of the attributes in fighting, speed, power, and timing, safe to say if you had 2 out of the 3, you would win a fight. Question for the panel: which 2 would you pick?
You said speed, power, and timing, huh? Okay, I would go with speed and timing for me. I would go with speed and timing.
Speed and timing.
Yep.
Yeah, speed and timing.
Speed and timing.
And so you said speed and timing?
Speed and timing.
And you said speed and timing?
Yep.
There you go. Hey, all 3 of us are in agreement, speed and timing.
Timing's all about reading.
Yeah.
Timing and speed. If your timing is right and you have the speed, that's power.
Yes.
You don't take a bullet and throw it at somebody.
Right. Correct.
And hurt them.
Correct.
You project it from a gun.
Right.
So
That's
that's
right.
that speed.
Mm-hmm. That's
so
right. That's right.
yeah, definitely speed and timing.
Yeah, Kirby, you just said something that caught my attention. You just said speed and timing, and you said something else afterwards
It's about reading.
about reading. Okay, now let's talk about reading. Let's talk about reading your opponent, you know, or your opposition.
Yeah.
I'll let you go ahead and take the floor for that.
Well, a lot of times, you know, there's a lot of little tricks, you know,
Mhm.
shake your gi leg or
Mhm.
whatever. That's the oldest trick in the
It's
book.
old school.
Yeah.
I like to, you know, I watch how my opponent's shoulders move.
Mm-hmm.
I do watch for the old tricks.
Mhm.
That doesn't work.
Yeah.
But it worked when I was younger, you know, because I stole those. But
Uh-huh.
a lot of times I watch their hips.
Mhm.
Usually the hips is going to tell you where they're going to go.
Mhm.
I watch a lot of the shoulders, but most of the time I just look right here.
Mhm.
Because if you look right here, usually you can see,
Mhm.
you know, everything that's moving. That's what, at least that's what works for me.
Right. Mhm. Mhm.
So reading my opponent, and a lot of times before I even fight, if I know they're fighting somewhere else, I'll actually go watch and
Mhm.
watch how they move and what they
Mhm.
do, and then I go home and I just process it.
Right.
And then when I know I get in there, you know, like you said earlier, being in the ring, trying to read somebody, you know, execute this and that, and all these
Mhm.
people out here don't understand. There's 50 million things you have to do,
Mhm.
you know, and that's exactly what I do. Is I get in, I read, you know, I watch their feet, I watch everything, and then when I go to counter, that's my timing.
That's your time.
Again,
Gotcha.
Comes with the
I got you.
power.
I got you.
Yeah.
And you know, you're dead on because in boxing, you watch across the shoulders.
Yep.
Because the moment the shoulder moves, that tells you this person is getting ready to throw the punch.
Right.
Okay. And the only time that you really can't see it, well, technically you can see it is on the inside what the person is doing because the punches are so short and the shoulders have to move before they can throw the punch anyway.
Right.
Okay. And one thing that I've learned when fighting on the inside is if you are moving, if you're on the inside and you keep continuously moving your head, you'll see his shoulders, his hips, and even his feet And you could tell when a person starts to plant their feet when you're fighting on the inside. When they plant their feet, okay, this guy's getting ready to give me a power shot. But again, you have to have experience to know that sort of thing. You know, but a lot of fighters don't have that experience. You know, you just see them, they're just fighting on the inside. You're like, this guy's getting ready to throw a nice right hook to the body, and it's going to be hard. Well, how would you know? Because he's planting his feet. That's why, you know. Some people think just because your feet are planted that every punch you throw is a hard punch. No, it's not. You know, they have to plant their feet and get stable, and they have to be able to do it. But what I found out was the most dangerous fighters are the ones that could do it and hide it.
James Toney.
Mm-hmm.
James Toney, exactly. Yeah.
I love James Toney.
That, oh my God, yeah. The way he, just the way he was able to, just certain things that he did, you know, inside that ring made him special. You know, just made him special.
Joe Walcott.
Yeah.
Joey Gans.
Yeah.
I'm going back. Huh?
You going way back. You going way back. Some people don't even know who these fighters are.
Like me, I'm sitting here going, who?
See, yeah. You know, there's a lot of boxing history that people don't.
It's lost.
It basically is lost.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, and here at Boxing Profiles, I want to bring that stuff back because I'm noticing in boxing they're getting away from the movement. It just pains me to say this. They're getting away from the jab.
Yeah.
They're getting away from the jab. I can understand movement, but you're getting away from the jab. I'm watching people fight now, and they're not even using a jab. I'm like, and some of these guys are world champions. How did you become a world champion if you didn't use your jab? I don't understand. And you know, and it's making me really go, wow.
Let's talk about that.
With the jab?
Let's talk about the jab and talented people.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to bring up Adrian Broner's name.
Okay.
Because I believe Adrian Broner is a talented fighter.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. He's a very, very talented fighter.
Very talented.
Yeah.
His detriments is he's a very slow starter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And as talented as he is, he does not use his jab.
Nope. Not at all.
Enough.
No, well, he does use it, like you said, it's not enough.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
You know, if he throws 12 jabs around, that's a lot for him.
That's
You know?
Yeah. Well, you know, for the fighter that I'm training, jab is key.
100 around.
Yeah.
Practice. You throwing 100 around.
Well, what I do is I have him throw jabs at the speed bag. Is what I have him do consistently. Throw your jabs at the speed bag, and then I push my fighters to throw 100 punches in 3 minutes. Okay, and in order for you to be able to win a boxing match, if you ain't gonna knock the guy out, you're gonna have to be able to throw a lot of punches and land the majority of your punches. Okay, so that's where the accuracy come in at. You know, you want to get them to hit real small little things like this, like tennis ball size targets and double end bags. You know, what I did was this: how I became very accurate was I took a tennis ball and I took a sock and I tied the socks on the end and took a bungee cord on the top here and one on the bottom and made myself a small little double end bag and I started punching it. And that's how I became very, very accurate because I got creative with it. And I said, okay, I'm gonna think out of the box here because I don't want to go in there and get my face caved in. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do that. I want to be the one that's that's doing that.
So it transitions from sport karate.
Yes.
To
Yes, to the full contact.
When I used to do sport karate, a lot of people were like, oh, he hit him in the face. Oh, I'm gonna throw this kick in his face. I'm gonna hit him with a back fist. I would target. I'm gonna hit you with a back fist right in your third eye. I'm gonna hit you right up under your cheek. About the size of a quarter, maybe.
Right.
You have to target your.
Yes. Yes.
When you're in the ring, and you got a real good coach, and he laces your gloves up, and he ties those things, and he brings all the leather back. He starts pushing the leather back.
Yeah.
And your knuckle starts to pierce the top.
Yes.
And then you can target. I'm gonna hit you in the floating rib about a quarter of an inch.
Yes.
So you gotta.
Yes.
That.
Yes. And see, you just you brought something up. You brought something up that I again I don't see it in boxing like you're talking about with the gloves, bringing the leather all the way back. Okay, a lot of coaches don't do that because, again, a lot of coaches are guys now that they didn't fight. They're just boxing coaches, but they never fought. You know, so they don't know all of the tricks of the trade. Whereas when you were a fighter, you get that opportunity to experience it, and you learn all the tricks of the trade, and you could pass those tricks on to other people, like your fighters, and so on and so on and so on. You know what I mean? Because they actually work.
They work, man.
Every last one of them work.
And so we go back to sport karate.
Uh-huh.
I learned from this phenomenal sport karate fighter, Anthony Mafia Holloway. He was so bad, his nickname was Mafia.
Yeah, I heard him.
Right?
I heard him.
So he would wrap his hands like in boxing, right? And then put tape over his knuckles, and then put the little 2-ounce glove on.
Wow.
So when he hit you,
it's like a brick wall. It's like you hit with a brick wall. Yeah.
He didn't have to throw it hard.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But you knew he scored a point.
Yeah. But now in boxing, what they do is this: they don't want you to put tape over the knuckles. You have to be.
You have to be right here.
You have to be right here, like that inch, and you got to have that gauze showing currently right now. You can only bring the tape up to here. So I mean, but even still, with just this alone,
Still
if you know how to wrap hands the right way, you still be able to do a lot of damage with that wrap that you have on your hand when if you know what you're doing. You really know what you're doing and know how to wrap hands up. Because one of the guys when I was fighting, Jacob Stitch Duran. I know you guys know who Jacob Stitch Duran is, right? Okay, Jacob Stitch Duran used to wrap my hands. Let me tell you something. That was the best wraps I've ever gotten in my entire life. Nobody's ever wrapped my hands that good before. I mean, just wrap my hands. I was just like, oh man, it was nice. I was just like, oh wow, I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? It's amazing. It's amazing what some of these guys can do. And when they say Jacob Stitch Duran is the best cut man in the business, 100%, he is, and he can rap. Man. If you get the opportunity to learn from Jacob, you know what you're doing. I know that 100% because, like I said, I know him for years and years and years, and believe me, it's just phenomenal what he can do with the hands. You know what I mean? So
that's rare to have a cut man that can wrap hands.
Exactly. And while we on that subject, he I talked to him like a couple weeks ago, and I do believe that they're coming out with a new. It's what they call it a coagulant, something to stop bleeding, some kind of coagulant that would stop the bleeding, and almost instantaneously. You know what I mean? So he's going to be, that's something that they're trying to get out on the market and stuff like that through the Bad Boy products and stuff like that. So he kind of told me about it, and I was just like, oh man, that's really really cool. So I was just like, man, it's just amazing on how boxing has declined, but yet grown on other sides. You know what I'm saying? That decline of boxing, I see it. It's declining because of decisions that are being made in boxing. But as far as when it comes to what cut men are doing and your corner men are doing, those guys are something that they're coming up big time because of the job that they're able to do. And they only got a minute
to do that
in 1 minute. 1 minute. To stop bleeding. And some of these guys got gashes underneath their eyes and all up under here, and people don't realize how amazing these guys really are, and to perform under that pressure of 1 minute to get that bleeding to stop. You know what I mean? They don't realize that, man. It's just like,
1 minute is not a long time.
Yeah.
You figure the bell rings. It's going to take you about 5 or 6 seconds to walk back to your corner.
Yeah.
You really only got 30 seconds.
You only got 30. Basically, you only have 30 seconds. And that brings up something that that he has Jacob Stitch Duran has a documentary out. It says, "Give the fighter one more round." Okay, and that documentary is out right now that people can, they can pick it up. I think they can pick it up at Cutman, Cutman for Hire, .com. They can pick that up right there, and you know what? It's just amazing what these guys can do.
I gotta check that documentary
Yeah,
out.
check it out. It tells you pretty much everything that you want to know about it. Everything that you want to know.
Yeah.
You know,
I gotta check that out.
Yeah.
I really do.
It's something that you could really, you know, you will learn a lot of stuff from it. You know what I mean? I learned a lot of stuff. Did you guys happen to see the fights in Sacramento, California? It was just maybe
3 weeks ago?
no, not 3 weeks ago. Maybe like a week and a half ago.
A week and a half ago?
Yeah,
No,
you didn't
I
get a chance to
read
see him.
about it. I was out of town.
You was out of town.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was Uppercut Promotions on the promoter NASA Navarone.
Uh-huh.
He had 10 fights on the card.
Oh wow.
And from what I understood, it was pretty much sold out.
Uh-huh.
You know, I heard they were selling just standing room only. You know what I mean? Which is good. And you know, for me, you know, having boxing profiles and BPTV,
Mhm.
you know, for me, I want to put boxing back on television again, where all fighters, and I'm just not talking about boxers. I'm talking about pretty much all athletes, because all athletes need some sort of marketing. You know, and you know, like I know, an athlete's not going to get anywhere if they don't have any marketing.
Yep.
You know, and in fact, there's fighters out here now that they're world champions. They're like, okay, who is this guy? Where'd he come from? You know, and there's fighters out, I don't even know who this guy is. You know, he's a world fighter. Well, okay, he's all right. You know what I mean? He's not the top dog, but you know, he's a champion. But okay, but you know, who is he? Where'd he come from?
Need
You know
the
what I mean?
marketing.
Yeah.
We right now, because Kirby's not really. You're not really no boxing, Kirby, are you?
Actually, I love boxing.
Who's
Yeah.
who's the heavyweight champion of the world?
You.
Right
answer? I don't know it like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I know like Tyson, Muhammad Ali, stuff like
Okay.
that. You, but yeah,
So right now, you can't tell me who the heavyweight champion of the world is.
I don't really pay attention to boxing.
Okay.
Mhm.
See, so you're right. You
Yeah.
need marketing.
It's marketing. It is marketing right now. I mean, okay, so wow, the heavyweight champion of the world right now is Tyson Fury. However, he supposedly retired.
Just yesterday,
Supposedly, yeah, like we had said the day before, something real. He retired, so that means he's giving up all the belts. But I got a funny feeling he's retired, give up the belts. Then all of a sudden, somebody gets the belt. Then he comes out of retirement, make big money, and bam, he takes the title back.
I think you're
in
right.
making history.
I think he's going to retire.
Yeah.
I think he's going to wait for the AJ Usyk fight, which is this weekend, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm picking Usyk.
You know, I'm picking Usyk too.
Okay.
I'm picking Usyk. Yeah.
And then he'll probably come back and fight the winner.
Yeah.
Now they're going to be recognized as the champion because the ring belt is, you know, Fury.
The ring belt is the one, but I think it's the green belt.
The WBC
The
belt.
WBC belt is the lineal title belt. Hold on 1 second here. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second here. Give me a second.
You gotta get it right.
Here it is. I should have had this in there.
Oh,
okay. Here's
right.
what we're talking about. Let's see so the fans can see this. Here's what we're talking about. We're talking about this is the WBC Lineal Title belt. And here you go. We have right here. This looks like Roy Jones Jr., Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, Manny Pacquiao.
And of course,
Okay.
the president
of the WBC, Jose Sulaiman. This is the belt that we're talking about right here, folks. Right here, the Lineal Title belt. Right here. This is the one. So, with that being said, now you guys know which one is the most important belt. This is the one that all the guys want to have. Is that one right there. Don't get me wrong. The other ones mean something.
Right.
But the lineal title is the one that a lot of people would like to have. You know what I mean? So, and that's why I got that one too, is because I got that because when you say lineal title, what does that mean?
It's the man who beat the man.
It's the man who beat the man who beat the man.
Who beat the man.
That's what that means, okay? So it's nothing wrong with the WBO. There's nothing wrong with the IBF. You know what I mean? You know, or the WBA title. But the only two titles back in the day when Sugar Ray Leonard fought was the WBA and WBC. That was it. That was it. And that's what Sugar Ray Leonard unified was those two belts, WBA and WBC. So
Leonard Ali.
Yeah, Ali.
Ali.
Yeah.
We fought a lot of people.
Yeah.
By today's standard,
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali is a 4-time world champion instead of 3-time.
Yeah. By today's standard.
By today's standard.
Today's standard. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're right. Everybody wants the green belt.
It's the green belt. It's the green belt, and that's and I'm not trying to say it's it's. Well, it is. It's the lineal belt, so it's most important than.
First of all, it's a very attractive belt.
Yeah, it is. As you can see, look. I'll bring it up again. Look. I mean,
it's green.
It's green. It's green. It's the actual world champion belt. It's green. That's it. Yeah, that's the
awesome.
one. That's the one right there. That's the one.
That's I'm out.
Yeah. This is the one. And for me, I love this sport with a passion.
You're right.
And so I want to do everything I can to help the sport.
Mm-hmm.
Getting back to what I was saying earlier, I'm going to put boxing back on TV again.
Free TV.
Free TV.
In the 70s. Well, I grew up.
We grew up at the same time. Yeah.
So every weekend.
Yeah. There was a fight.
It was a fight.
I was born in the 70s.
You were born in the 70s?
I was growing up
You
too.
was growing up too, yeah.
So every weekend, and the superstars were fighting.
Yes,
It wasn't
yes,
just, Joe Blow against Blow Joe.
Right.
It was like Ray Mancini,
Yes.
Hector
Macho,
Camacho,
you name
Matthew
it.
Saad Muhammad, Michael Spinks.
Yes.
Ali fought.
Ali, yes. And I watched Ali growing up.
Right.
When I was growing up, I'm watching this guy on national television. He used to make me laugh and he was so much fun to watch. And I could just imagine in person how he was. And that's just on TV. I was like, man, I gotta watch this guy. I gotta watch it. And when the Ali fight came on, my whole family was sitting there watching the fight.
Everything stopped.
Everything stopped.
Mm-hmm.
And today's fighters are not like that. And that's what we have to get back. We got to get back to where people can just stop what they're doing and watch the fight.
Enjoy the fight, right.
But we did have something that they don't have right now, and that was ABC Wide World of Sports.
That's it.
That was it. They not only covered boxing, they covered everything.
Yeah.
Everything. We got Mr. T says the green belt is legit. Is the legit one? Yeah, we got you. We got you, Theo. We got you.
Actually, my thesis when I got my doctorate was on the. Oh man, what was my thesis? It was on boxing, but it was on the disorganization of the boxing structure.
Yes.
And
Yes.
In my work, I did recognize the WBC.
Yeah, WBC belt. Yeah. Speaking of that, there's a gentleman I talked to. He's in Gilroy, and he had he's from the Stick and Move gym, and I talked to him like a week ago, and we were talking about getting boxing back on television and marketing the fighters, because he was very, very instrumental in Robert the Ghost Guerrero in his whole career, because he was the one that helped Robert Guerrero and and everything. So I'm talking to him on the phone, and so he was telling me about he's got a nice little plan of trying to get it back together and this and that. He knows people in the amateur boxing and all this other stuff, and and I was telling him, look, I'm right in line with you. We need to get this back on television. It needs to be on television.
Not only do we need to get boxing back on television, but we need to get sport karate back.
Yeah. Sport karate
back
also.
Then,
on
ABC Sports and on NBC and on ESPN.
Yeah.
ESPN just covers it once a year, but we would see the Liberty Classic.
Yep.
We would see Henry Cho's tournament.
Yes.
We would see the Battle of Atlanta.
Yeah.
We would see the big martial arts tournaments. We would see the big sponsors John Paul Mitchell, American Airlines,
Yes.
Budweiser,
Yes.
Pepsi, of
Yes.
which I was on the Pepsi karate team.
You was on the Pepsi karate team. Yeah.
So they would be on television as well. It wasn't as prestigious as it should have been, I think, for the same reason as boxing isn't, because promoters got a little greedy.
Yeah, a little bit greedy. Yeah, they got a little greedy. And in fact, I sent a tweet to Leonard Ellaby about, you know, you basically have on a card when we watch a pay-per-view, we basically got 3 fights, maybe 4, and you pay $100 basically for it, okay? And like a couple weeks ago, I watched on DAZN. The first fight ended in like a controversy, right? So I wasn't happy with that. Then they had 2 ladies that were fighting. It was decent. It was a decent fight. Then they had 2 heavyweights, which was the best fight on the card. The 2 heavyweights was the best fight on the card. They had one other fight that was there that I was just like, it was just like garbage. I mean, that fight was garbage. You know, I'm not going to say the fighters' names, but
Right.
I'm sure. But the fight was garbage. I was just like, really?
Just wasn't entertaining.
Yeah, it was on DAZN, but Golden Boy Promotions put it on, and I was just like, well, wait a minute, don't Golden Boy got marquee fighters that they could put on this card? Well, you know, the only 2 marquee fighters that I know of, I think it says, only two marquee fighters that I know of is, what's his name? Virgil Ortiz? Virgil Ortiz, and then Ryan Garcia. They're still with Golden Boy. But Golden Boy, after that, there's no other marquee fighters. Whereas the PBC's got 200 something fighters under contract, and most of those guys are your name fighters,
and they fight each other.
And they fight each other.
Yeah,
okay, you know what I mean. And then we got top rank, which is those guys fight each other, but it's kind of closed. You know what I mean? They're kind of closed in their own little world.
Aaron has control of all of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he doesn't want to take this fighter and put him against Ellaby's fighter. Oscar's fighter.
And you know, that doesn't make any sense, because back in the day when we came up, everybody fought everybody. If you lost, you lost. You get a rematch, you go back, you beat them. That's what made boxing exciting.
It makes sense from a business
standpoint.
Also, keep all the money in the house.
Exactly. You know what I mean? For business, yeah.
But as far as a boxing fan, so let's answer this question.
Okay, go ahead.
You were there when Mancini fought Dooku Kim. Elaborate on how this is the reason why they changed the length of fights from 15 to 12 rounds, which is the seg to Leonard Hagler being the first 12. Well, actually, Leonard Hagler was not the first 12-round fight. Leonard negotiated the fight to be 12 rounds. So he gave Hagler ultimatums. If you want to fight me, you're going to fight me 12 rounds instead of 15.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did not know.
Leonard negotiated the bigger ring. Leonard negotiated the thumbed gloves. Leonard negotiated the number of rounds. Hagler didn't care because Hagler thought he was going to knock him out.
Right.
You know? So Hagler just took everything, and that's why Leonard won.
Yeah.
I think the actual first 12-round championship fight, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was a Larry Holmes fight.
Was it Larry Holmes fight?
I think it was a Larry Holmes fight.
Okay. Wow.
So yeah, when that was the WBA did that when after Mancini fought Dooku Kim, and you know, unfortunately Kim got killed. I think in the 13th round.
Yeah.
And so they brought the rounds back to 12, and then the WBC followed, and then the IBF followed.
Yeah. Because you know, now that we're talking about 15 rounds, I remember preparing for 15 rounds.
15 rounds, yeah.
15 rounds, 45 minutes of fighting at 100%.
Yeah.
I remember training for that.
You see,
okay.
He's just throwing them out. Your pick on the Leonard Hagler fight. I'm gonna let you answer that first. Did you see that fight, Kirby?
No.
You know, in all honesty, I actually thought Marvin Hagler was going to beat the hell out of him. That's what I thought. But when I saw what Leonard was doing was that hit and run tactic, that worked for him. But now that you told me about the 12-round thing, and I see why he did it, because if he would have never lasted after the 12th round, because he was completely exhausted. I actually thought that Hearns was just going to beat the hell out of him and knock him out. That's what I thought. because from what I've seen from not Hearns, I'm sorry,
Hagler.
Hagler. I actually thought Hagler was gonna beat the hell out of him. And
Well,
you know.
I'm gonna say this. Leonard won the match.
he won the match. Yeah,
Hagler won
won
the
the
fight.
yes.
Now, here's another smart thing that Sugar Ray Leonard did, and go back and watch the tape and see if I'm wrong. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Leonard wore white, so when you watch the fight, you're not even looking at Hagler.
Right.
You're looking at Leonard.
You're looking at
he's
Leonard.
got on white.
He's got on white. Yes, yes, that's right. That's correct. That's a cycle. That's right. And that's supposed to be the good guy.
Good guy.
Yeah.
So
Wow, dude,
when
huge.
you watch the fight,
Wow, that's huge.
you can't take your eyes off of Leonard.
Leonard, can't take your eyes off of
You
Leonard.
can't take your eyes off.
Wow.
But when you watch like Leonard and Hearns 2,
Yeah.
or Leonard and Larry Bonds, you know,
Right.
you're looking at both fighters.
Yeah.
You know, if you're looking at Leonard and Duran 2, you're kind of looking more at Duran than Leonard. You know, it's a psych thing.
Yeah.
It's a psych thing.
Yeah.
Now, I knew.
Oh, wait, let me stop you for a second.
Okay.
Let me stop.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, Earl Spence, if you listening to that, wear white when you fight Terry Crawford. It's a psyche thing, okay? They'll watch you and not him, okay?
That's what they do.
That's what they do.
That's what they do.
It's the same thing with point karate.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
You wear
Back,
white.
back when it was more traditional instead of all this freestyle.
Yeah.
Wear white. They'll
Yeah,
see your
wear
glove.
white,
You know, they'll see your glove.
Yeah.
So of course, I put the white ones on.
You know what's so funny about that? I have my own gloves,
Mhm.
and it's got my name, it's got the name Tom's on them, and they're white. The gloves are white, and you know, and I never even thought of that. You know what I mean?
It's a psych thing.
It's a psych thing.
It's your eye will just naturally attract to that
To
color.
that color, to white.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So yeah, they'll be paying attention to you and not paying attention to the other guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
And see, in
Wow.
point karate, the way I had it explained was when you wear white, if somebody's got a black uniform on,
Yeah.
you're going to see that.
You,
You're gonna see that white.
you see the white.
If you have black against black, you're not going to.
you don't
dark
see it.
blue or whatever.
You're right. Yeah.
So a lot of girls are wearing. A lot of the youngsters now are wearing pink. That's
Yeah.
not really my color.
Well, the two colors that would make me really, really go after a person is if they wore pink or red in their trunks.
Mhm.
Yeah.
When I got into the ring, if they got on red or pink, that's telling me that you're aggressive. You're going to be really aggressive automatically. So I'm coming after you. I mean, I'm really coming after you. You know what I'm saying? And that's just something that fighters do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you got on some other colors, you know, you're like, okay, that's neutral, but certain colors
Bring it out.
it does bring it out of you.
I think
You know,
he's got another one.
they'll say, okay, take your pick.
Oh,
on the
we was
Leonard
talking
Hagler
about that one.
fight.
It's the one on the bottom.
Okay, let's see. Wait.
Did
Listen.
not know that. Oh, that's it.
Yeah, he didn't know. Wow.
And going back to the Leonard Hagler fight,
Mhm.
I watched two fights that made me think that Leonard would be. I didn't think he was going to win. I thought he was going to give a good showing, honestly. But two fights that made me think that Leonard was going to do a good showing was, of course, the way Hagler looked when he fought Mugabe.
Mm-hmm.
He was a little slower.
Mm-hmm.
He was missing shots that he normally wouldn't have missed the year
Mhm.
before.
Mhm.
You know, and that fight took a toll on Marvin.
Yes.
But the fight that really made me was when he fought Roberto Duran.
Oh yeah.
Because before, and that went 15 rounds. So before, I guess Duran hit the wall around the 10th or 11th round.
Right.
Hagler couldn't get a clean shot off him because Duran was upper body movement.
Yes.
The upper body movement was
Yes.
really frustrating Marvin Hagler.
Yes, it was. Yes. Mhm.
So
And you know, and if fighters today go back and look at that fight, and if they really understand boxing, they can see that is the perfect example of a fight, what two fighters should be doing in the ring when you're fighting in close.
Mhm.
Perfect example
Mhm.
is the Hagler-Duran fight. It is the perfect one, like you said. Duran was moving his body, moving his head, and that's why he didn't get knocked out.
yeah, Hagler had knocked everybody out.
Knocked
His
everybody
title
out.
defense until he met Duran.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
So
Wow.
I got a question for you guys.
Okay.
So if and I'm not talking about me by no means, but how would you? What is your opinion on cross training somebody that is a point fighter into a boxer or a kickboxer? What's your opinion?
Do you want to answer that first, or do you want me to answer?
I'm gonna let you answer that first.
For me, I would say I'm 100% for it. And here's the reason why I'd be 100% for it. Because the basis of the fighting skills that they have for the mental aspect of it,
Right.
okay, they're already there. They're there already.
Right.
What I have to do is make an adjustment and to show you how to throw the punch the way a boxer does. Because when a karate person throws a punch, they do throw a stiff punch.
Yeah.
Whereas we do throw what we call a stiff jab or something like that. But every punch that we throw you got to be completely relaxed. And at the last moment, just before impact, you tighten up. And that's what we do as a boxer, or or as like a karate person or kickboxer.
Right.
Those sort of things. You got to be relaxed so you can get that fast and that agility and all those things move. So for me, I would absolutely tell that person 100%. You did point karate. They understand speed.
Mhm.
Speed is power.
Yeah.
So, because you see a lot of the karate guys get in and they're like, what? They're throwing it really fast.
Mhm.
And it's like, okay, so they understand that. So for me to teach you how to do a jab,
Yeah.
you're going to do it really fast. Okay?
Right.
You're going to do it really fast.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's hard to get fighters now today to be able to throw a jab super fast. It's hard. It's hard. Yeah, because they don't use a jab now. But for a point karate guy, oh yeah. Oh man, I turned him into a monster. I turned him into a monster. Woo!
I'm with you. I'm 100%. I think they should cross train, because I've known a lot of. I'm trying not to insult anybody, but I'm gonna put it like this: I've known a lot of top-rated point fighters
Mhm.
who can't fight for real.
Right.
There we go.
See what I'm saying?
I agree.
Right.
I agree.
So you get them out of the karate arena and you put them in the street,
Mhm.
not even the boxing ring, but put them in the street.
Yeah.
And then they start doing this point karate
Yeah.
stuff and then get knocked
And
out.
get knocked out. Yes.
So I'm all for it, because you have to know how to excel as a fighter on
Yes.
all planes. So you
Yes.
have to do the sport karate, because it
Mhm.
teaches you the speed and
Yes.
the timing,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
the boxing,
Mm-hmm.
the kickboxing,
Mm-hmm.
the Thai boxing,
Mhm.
the MMA,
Yeah.
the grappling,
Yeah.
the wrestling. You
Yes.
know,
Right.
Everything.
you got to know, because you have to be a
Complete fighter.
because you
Yes.
never know
Yes.
outside of competition.
Yeah.
You never know when you're going to be tested.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. That's
You
right.
know, so you always
Yeah.
want to have one.
Yeah. Now we got a question here again. So it says, is the Long Beach International Tournament still going on?
Yes,
It is.
it was just this weekend.
just this weekend.
This
Wow.
weekend passed.
Okay. All right.
Uh,
Remember, her name was Tori Gate, the trophy from.
Tori got trophies.
Yeah, Tori got trophy. Oops, my bad. Oops. Yeah,
Remember
Tori
the
got
Tori Gate. Oh,
from the
yeah.
back in the 80s and
So
90s.
they're
Yeah.
still doing that.
They're still doing it.
And actually, last weekend they
Tori
had the very first. I don't know if it's going to be annual, but I think it is going to be annual. The first Long Beach International Hall of Fame.
Mm.
So a lot of the competitors
Mhm.
who are legends in the martial arts right now,
Mhm.
who competed and won that tournament,
Mhm.
Eric Lee, Linda Denley,
Mhm.
oh gee whiz, Steve Muhammad,
Mhm.
and Malia Dacascos, Malia
Mhm.
Bernal Dacascos, and the list goes on. Benny the Jet Urquidez,
Mhm.
and a few more of those people were inducted into the first Long Beach International Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Well
Wow.
deserved. So it
Wow.
was just this weekend past. It's still going on. It's still a great tournament.
Mhm.
I don't think, in my opinion, because the media isn't attracted to it like it used to be,
Mhm.
because a lot of celebrities would go and Bruce Lee was discovered there,
Yeah.
Victor Moore performed there, etc. and so forth.
Yeah.
And it's not getting that
Yeah.
media coverage
Right. Mhm.
to make it more well known, so it was
Yeah.
as prestigious
Yeah,
as it was.
prestigious,
When,
yes.
when Ed Parker was alive.
Yes,
So,
yes, which makes sense. Guys, again, this is Boxing Profiles, and just want to let you guys know, hey, if you like this sort of content, just go ahead, like, subscribe to the channel. You can write something in the comment section. We're currently live at this particular moment. We're answering some questions right here. So again, we have Kirby Dunn, and we have Robert Parham, and I'm Tony Prince. Okay, so you know we all are some sort of fighter. Me, former professional kickboxer and boxer, world champion kickboxer, and Kirby Delani. She's a point karate fighter and champion. I don't know exactly how many belts you have, but
She probably doesn't even know.
she probably don't even know. You got that many?
Last time I counted there, I think there was like probably about 14, 15.
14?
Yeah, something like that.
Wow. Wow.
I don't remember.
That's amazing. And you are,
So when
you have,
I
how many
won
you have?
5 world titles in point karate.
yeah, okay.
I won the USK title, the
Mhm.
same title Chuck Norris and Bill Wallace
Right.
won.
Mhm.
So the USK, the Umahoff, the NBL, the SKI, and I'm missing one.
Mhm.
And then I transitioned to kickboxing.
Mhm.
I won 5 world titles, actually won 6,
Uh-huh.
but it's 5 different weight divisions.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And then in boxing, I was 1-1 in boxing.
1-1.
Yeah,
Okay.
'cause I enjoyed kicking people in the head more than I did. I just did.
I have to agree on the same way.
Now, like I said, I have my experience of kicking people in the head, as well as cracking them with my fist. Okay, and believe it or not, honestly, I enjoy both of them. I mean, if I can crack you upside the head with my leg, oh, I'm taking it. You know what I mean? If I can hit you with my fist and you go 9-9 too.
Yeah. See.
Okay, hey, I'm taking it.
This guy
I'm
right
taking
here,
it.
he needs therapy right
You know.
Yeah, but I think we do too. We're just not saying it.
What people don't understand is, like, okay, you've done pad work with me.
Yes.
So you know exactly how I do the pad work.
Yes.
I make you work.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing it just to be, a jerk or anything. I'm doing it because I really want you to learn. Because when I walk away from you, if you have to use it, I want you to be able to use it without even thinking about it. It is a natural reaction. And that's what I teach my fighter, Ogana. I teach him that, and say, look, listen, this has got to be a natural reaction. Everything you do has got to be natural. None of this stuff you thinking about and you hesitating. You ain't got time for that when you fighting.
Yeah.
You got to throw hands.
Mhm.
And believe me, and if you throwing hands, you're going to put hands on them,
Yeah.
And like Ogana, oh my God. This guy.
Is there any way you can show a clip?
Absolutely. I'll have to, let me go after, let me see if I can go ahead and, you know what?
You should show the people Ogana.
let's
I've
see.
seen some clips of Ogana.
You've seen some clips.
He's
Let me
a
see what,
monster.
yeah, he's a monster. Let me come over. I share my screen over here. Give me a second. Let me bear with me here for a second. Let's see here. Let's see if I can get this. Oh, you know what? Wait a second. Oh, wait a minute. I'm going the long way. Hold on here. Just okay. Let's see. Hey, Mr. Thieves, if you have another question that's coming up, just hold the question. Just let me do something real quick. Let's see. That says caption. Go to graphics. Where is Ogana? Here we go. This is Ogana. Right here, folks. This is Ogana. Check this out. Same thing we did earlier. Right? Take your time. Don't rush your punches. Same thing we did earlier. Quick clip of, it's not Ogana, but I actually thought that I downloaded the one I put on Facebook. I actually thought I did that, but I didn't. But this guy here, what makes him so special is I've only been training this guy for 2 months.
Really?
I only been
Right.
training him for 2 months.
Natural.
Okay, so it's a natural ability. Now, I wanted you guys to notice how easy he would throw his jab and come back and block, and he was just pop, 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 pop. And that's what I teach. I teach fighters how to transition from offense to defense naturally. And a lot of fighters out there and coaches out there, I pay attention to what they teaching the guys. They're not teaching them that. Again, this is something that as a fighter, you have to know how to do it, demonstrate it to them, show them how to do it, and then be able to teach it to them. And believe me, it looks like it is super easy. It's not. It is very, very hard because you're doing everything simultaneously. Okay? I mean, you're throwing the punch, you're blocking, you're coming back with the punch. You might have to slip up underneath the punch. You're going to come with the hook. You're going to get your hands back up the block. You know, and this is what I do. I make it like you are really, really fighting. That is the only way that you're going to be prepared to fight. Now, there was one other person, you guys should know who this is, who said you need to do things simultaneously. You know who that is?
Manuel Stewart.
No. No. He was not. He was a fighter, but he was not a boxer. This is going to be hard for you if you don't get it. Think about it.
You should do things simultaneously.
Yeah.
Did he say it with an accent?
Yes.
It was Bruce Lee.
Exactly. Do things simultaneously. Well, he did. He does say it with accent. Because what did Bruce Lee teach us as far as when we look at his fighting style? When you fight, right? You do this simultaneously. You can block and strike at the same time. And people forget about that. Okay? You could do it at the same time. A guy throws a jab, you can block the jab and strike him at the same time. But you have to be trained to do it. Lots of people can't do it.
Lots of people can't. I ran across a gentleman who I've accepted as my teacher, Sifu Samuel Kwok. So Samuel Kwok is one of the few descendants of Ip Man in the Wing Chun system. So Samuel is, I don't want to give your age away, but he's over 70. Okay? If you can put your hands on him, because he does that. You know, we were just at Dragon Fest. Oh, you didn't go to Dragon Fest.
I know. I had to.
We were doing Wing Chun, and I was trying to hit him. He's like, whap, whap. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Well, you know. Okay, last time you was here, you didn't see it because of my because we was in the garage, and the curtains actually are blocking the actual my Wing Chun doll. I actually have my own Wing Chun doll that I actually do a lot of practicing on still today. And seeing a lot of people don't realize how much boxing and Wing Chun complement each other.
Right.
Okay, they don't understand it. But if you're able to fight, I mean, literally, me and Robert, we're this close to each other, right?
Yeah, we're comfortable.
And be comfortable to fight right here.
Yeah.
This is what people don't like. This is what they don't like. But if you're able to be comfortable and fight in that close quarters, you're going to be a special fighter, and you're going to rise all the way to the top because you have a skill that a lot of people don't have, and they don't even know how to acquire it. You know what I'm saying? They don't even know how to acquire it. And this is why I said, okay, I watched what everybody said about Floyd Money Mayweather. He's got the best defense around and all this other stuff. But the one fighter you never seen Floyd Mayweather ever fight was another great defensive fighter. He has never faced another great defensive fighter. Think about it.
I'm thinking.
Everybody that he fought, everybody that Floyd Money Mayweather fought, they stood right in front of him. Most of the fighters stood right in front of him. He's never fought any great other defensive fighter. People will say, here's what people will say. They'll say, well, at that time, there were no other great defensive fighters.
Incorrect.
There are defensive fighters that are out there. Floyd never fought them. You understand? Now, I'm not saying Floyd was ducking them. There could be a guy out there that you know nothing about that's a great defensive fighter.
What's his name?
Okay?
He was a pretty good defensive fighter until he got knocked out.
Oh, you're talking about
Paul Williams.
Oh yeah, Paul Williams. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing that I discovered that a lot of people did. Okay. Let's go back to the fight with James Toney, Michael Nunn. Okay. Michael Nunn was basically winning every single round, but Michael Nunn did one thing that was wrong. He kept dropping his hand.
Two things.
Okay.
Two things. Well, that's primarily.
Yeah.
I won't say he did it wrong.
Yeah.
He was dropping his hand, but the second was a big part of Michael Nunn's career is he wasn't comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Like you
In
said,
close, right
he
here,
wasn't comfortable.
and right here. You got you as a fighter, you got to get comfortable right on the inside with a person, okay? And like I teach my fighter, Ogana. I tell him, when you're on the inside, you're just not throwing punches. You're there for a reason, and you need to be very deliberate with what you're going to do to that person's body, to where that person, I don't care how good of an inside fighter he is, he does not want to stand there inside with you.
That's where the fight is.
That's where the fight is.
That's exactly how one of my instructors, Professor Jody Perry, I do study Wing Chun, and his son does the boxing, the kickboxing, so it's kind of all mixed in. So I understand exactly what you're saying. A lot of people, they don't like to be right there.
Yeah.
And when I first started training with them, I didn't like to be there as a martial artist. I didn't want to be right there. I wanted to be out here so I could just tap you with my foot or do whatever I wanted. Now I like being right there, because there's so much more of an advantage that you don't see or think of when you're way out here. You're thinking distance, keep them away from you, but there's so much more that you can do right there. I love it.
That's where the fight is.
That's where the fight is.
Just out here, I think you work and you rest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right here, that's where the fight is. And if you don't know how to fight, you got no business to do.
Exactly.
Well, not only that, you're right there, you got to keep that focus even tighter. Out here, you have time to go, okay, I'll just sleep on this one. Just got hit.
Exactly.
Right here, you don't have that time.
And that's why I'm so big on defense. Your best offense is a defense. Okay, you got to take away immediately. As far as me, when I see a fighter, I was like, man, block the jab, block the jab, block the jab. Take it away from him. Slip the jab. You know what I mean? But you got to take that tool away from him. If you take the tool away from him,
there's no power.
They lose it.
That's it.
Imagine Larry Holmes without a jab.
Oh, I can't imagine that. Because Larry had the best jab in the business.
Imagine Sonny Liston
without a jab. Yeah.
George
Foreman without a jab.
Without a jab.
Without a jab.
They would have never have reached the heights.
Exactly.
Even.
Well, imagine Kathy Long without a jab.
Yeah. There we go, Kathy.
That's my girl.
And was she at Long Beach? And I don't think she went to Dragon Fest either. Kathy, if you're watching, we missed you at Dragon Fest.
I didn't go, but
yeah, where were you? Yeah, that's crazy.
Who else? Who else had it? Layla Ali had a.
Yeah, she was there.
No, she wasn't at Dragon Fest, but she had a really, really good jab. Clarissa Shields.
Correct. Yeah, you know what? Okay, I don't really watch a lot of the women's boxing. Okay, because for some reason it's just not on television like it used to be. So we see all the guys always fighting, but I've watched some of Clarissa Shields' fights on YouTube, and she's good.
She's good.
She's really, really good. I'm impressed with her. So and yes, she does have a good jab.
She's got a great jab.
It's really good. Really.
My dream fight for Clarissa Shields.
Don't say Layla Ali.
No. In a time warp.
Yeah.
Two people.
Who?
Ann Wolf.
Okay.
And Lucia Riker.
Oh, okay, those will be great fights.
Those. Ooh.
Yeah. Because there was one time I think somebody was saying something about that Clarissa Shields was gonna fight Layla Ali.
I think she's trying to goad her out of retirement.
Yeah, trying to goad out of retirement.
Layla Ali's like 30 pounds heavier than her.
Yeah, but and Layla Ali's a lot taller. She, I mean, don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Clarissa could fight, but do not underestimate Layla Ali.
Don't underestimate her. Yeah, she's an animal.
Yeah, don't underestimate her. Whether you think you could beat her or not, do not underestimate her, because that would be a huge, huge mistake.
I think the test that made me a believer in Layla Ali's when she fought Jackie Frazier.
Yes, yes.
Because I don't know where she got her second win.
Yes. Just like her dad.
Yeah, I don't know where it came from.
Just like her dad. Just like her dad.
Yeah, she pushed through.
We seen Muhammad Ali do that in some of his fights.
Yeah,
we seen him do that. Just like exactly that trait comes from her dad.
Wow.
You know.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Gracious.
So and she's not her dad, but she does do when she throws her punches. A lot of her punches come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
They come out of nowhere, and you're kind of like, okay, how did she hit me? You know what I mean? So you leave an opponent with that. They're walking away through the corner. Okay, how am I getting hit?
I always wanted to see her fight animals. That fight never
And but
we'll see to see it. But
yeah,
it's never going to happen.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Let me ask Kirby a question.
Go ahead,
Kirby. Who is the greatest sport karate fighter, in your opinion, and why? Male or female?
I have to say, out of the females, I would have to say Regina Thompson. She was a youngster back when I was fighting, and I would have to say Tammy Whelan.
Okay.
Tammy Whelan's pretty awesome.
She shouting you out, Tim.
That's in closed circuit.
Right.
Regina Thompson, she was a young lady. Tammy, I'm sure, knows who she is. She fought MBL and very quick, very fast, axe kick, very quick little girl. Far as guys, I would have to say Paul Mendoza for sure. And Guy Ricoli.
And who?
Guy Ricoli.
Okay.
Yeah, Gambino. Gambino. Out of the guys, they were pretty quick.
Those are the people that you know.
Yeah, people that I grew up with knowing.
Okay, we mentioned the name Kathy Long. Kathy Long was a kickboxer, wasn't she?
She was a kickboxer, professional boxer.
Okay, all right. Okay, so Kathy Long, so it was her. You ever heard of the name of Ramona Gato?
Yes.
Ramona Gato, she's out of I think it's is it San Ramon? Just not too far from here. Not too far from here. And she was I think she fought Kathy Long
Some years ago.
Some years and years ago. She fought Kathy Long, and I think they might have had 3 fights.
I don't remember.
I know. I think that they I think it was she fought her, and I can't remember exactly what happened, but Ramona was she was bad. She was bad. She was bad.
Underestimate the women fighters.
Yes,
really
they do. They do.
I tell you another person who can throw angles like nobody I've seen for a woman fighter. Boxing, and that was Mia St. John.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious! I've seen her cross somebody up, grab their elbow, spin them on. I was like, what does she know about this?
Yeah. It's just a matter. Like I said, it's all those things that you learn from your coaches and all that other stuff.
Man, she brought the 1940s back.
She
seen her fight. I was like, wow.
Oh, and I was growing up. I was, every time I turned on the TV and there was boxing for women. I mean, I recognize all these names. I'm better with faces. But Kathy Long, I have to say, was one of my little kid idols. I grew up watching her and finally got to meet her. And I mean, she's just cool people. Became friends. We're not best friends or anything, but we became friends. And I still think, she's just awesome.
She is.
And there's a lot of women out there that's awesome boxers. I don't know them. I've never met them. I don't keep up on the boxing. To be honest with you, I'm getting more into the kickboxing. I'm over the kind of sport karate. There's nothing wrong with it, but I just want to move on.
We'll move on to it. Yeah. Well, that's
so now I'm getting into
you're growing.
Kickboxing.
You're growing. You're growing and things like that. Which is great. And there's nothing wrong with growing, because again, that means you're still learning. Learning, and you're gonna get better and better and better and better. And that's what happens. When you get into these pugilistic sports and you survive them.
Right.
Get better and better and better and better and better.
Yeah.
I mean, Me, look at me. I'm 60 years old,
And you can still go.
and trust me,
You can still go.
I still can go. I don't like to use it.
Yeah.
I don't like doing it. I would much rather teach it.
Right.
But I mean, if I have to go, then I gotta go. You know?
Yeah.
But I don't want to use it at all. I still can. Oh no! Don't be fooled. I can throw hands. I can throw hands.
Yeah, but see, a fighter knows a fighter, right?
Yeah.
He lies.
Yeah, I won't
If
say
someone said, "Hey, T, let's go 3 rounds." T was like, "All right." My gloves right here.
Yeah.
No, I can't do that now.
Oh.
I can't do that now. But you know.
A fighter
I
knows a
mean,
fighter.
Fighter knows a fighter. I know.
Like I said, I won't say the other, but fighter knows a fighter.
I know.
I know I can throw
No,
some
I can
gloves
go.
on
No,
and
I
still
can go.
go.
No, I still can go. You know, I still can go. I just don't.
No.
You know.
So can you?
Yeah.
Not like him. I'm gonna keep it real. So a couple months ago, I went to the boxing gym. I went to the gym. I was like, I need to lose some weight. So I brought my son with me. I brought RJ.
Yeah.
So RJ's, he's an adult now.
Right.
So what is RJ? It was early this year, so he's 20.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, let's go around or 2.
Mm-hmm.
I put them gloves on and I was jabbing. I was like, all right, yeah, I used to be the champ. I got it, man. I was like, I was trying to catch a rabbit.
Yeah, exactly.
He was hitting me with stuff. Look how many people in here.
That's right. You know, we can't get away from the time. That's the part we can't get away
I
from.
was getting ready to tackle him.
Hey, there you go. That's it. Grab him, twist his leg. You know what I mean? He's like,
Still your father,
there you
boy.
go. I'm glad they came up with MMA.
I'm still your father.
And that's what the MMA is for. So, hey, stop running, man. Take them to the ground and ground and pound. You know what I mean? That's what it's for. Which is great. You know what I mean? It's just great that we all can just sit here and talk about the pugilistic sports and just have a great time like we're having here.
Just love it.
It's just love it, man.
Just
It's
love
just
it.
that, man. Look like you brought tears to your eyes right there.
I did, man. Bad memories, man.
So you know when that happens, you know you're teaching them well.
Yes, yes.
And just like you said earlier, you like your students when you walk away, you want them to know what they're doing.
Yes.
And I agree 1,000%.
Yeah.
When my students are with me, they're like, "Gosh, Miss Delani, you're so brutal."
Mhm.
No, I'm not brutal.
Right.
I'm teaching you.
Yeah.
And when you train and you walk outside that door, I'm
Mhm.
just like a parent. I want to know that my kids can take care of themselves.
Exactly.
And so I'm not going to be your friend right now.
Right.
I'm going to be your instructor.
Right. It's exactly. It's like I tell my wife. For me, the job that I do, I was what I do is I was doing a lot of Homeland Security work.
Mm.
So, and in Homeland Security, you carry firearms and all that other stuff. So, so I take my wife out to the range, and my wife became a pretty proficient shooter now.
Mm-hmm.
So and this is something that I'm big on. I'm
Yeah.
big on women learning self-defense. It doesn't matter if you're going to utilize a firearm, if you utilize martial arts or anything.
Yeah.
I'm huge on that because we need to know how to survive. And then, the thing is this, I'm not here all the time, right? I could be gone somewhere, and my wife knows exactly what to do. God forbid if anything ever happened, but she would know what to do. And it's the same thing with martial arts and, anything like that, that each and every person has a life that's God-given, and you should know how to defend yourself or defend the small child that you're with. And this is something that people don't talk about it as much. Every now and then it'll come up, but it's something that needs to be discussed.
It does.
Because and you could do it in a safe environment. And that's the thing that people are getting away from. Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. No, you can do it in a safe environment because we've done it. All of us have done it in a safe environment. Because if not, we wouldn't be here.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
We've gotten into some of the most dangerous sports in the world, and we're still here and we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Okay. And we know that there's people that die every day from what we've done.
Yeah.
Boxing, kickboxing, point karate.
Yeah.
People are getting seriously injured and this and that, and we're here healthy,
Mhm.
able to tell people about it, and you can do it in a safe manner, and that's why it's so important
Yeah.
that that people learn. How to do it.
And when you get experience,
Yes.
as we get older,
Mm-hmm.
we become wiser.
Yes.
And when we teach our students, our wives, our children self-defense,
Mm-hmm.
it's more of a real solid foundation.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like before, when I was my son's age,
Mhm.
and I'm bouncing around, I'm jabbing, I'm kicking.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to get in the street, I'm doing all that.
Mhm.
Now that I'm 30 years older,
Mm-hmm.
you might hit me,
Mm-hmm.
you might cut, you might even beat me,
Mm-hmm.
but I know
Mm-hmm.
that I'm gonna get that eye.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm gonna get that eye.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, I'm gonna
You
get that eye.
I got you. which is like I said, I'm the same way. And it's like, but the only difference between you and me is this: it's only going to take one of these. That's it. That's it. It's only going to take one. I don't care what you know. It's only going to take one, and that's it. And I know it. That's it. You're done. You know what I mean? They're gonna say, man, I'll never do that again.
Here's your package back from FedEx.
There you go. There you go. Because
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I mean, all the years I've been doing this, and I'm just like, you know what? And then now teaching it, and the teaching part and the coaching part of it is actually bringing more out of me than when I was fighting. It's the teaching and the coaching part right now, because I'm really realizing the things that I did in the ring and the other things that I could do just by showing my fighter. You know what I mean? I'm just like, wow. And I'm like, man, I would do a combination here, and then, and so wait a minute, I could come over here and do this and add this into it. It's just so much that you start to see. You start teaching.
You get more into you start understanding the science.
Exactly.
Behind
Exactly.
when you get older,
when you get older,
more experience, when you start to coach and teach.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
As before, a punch was just a punch.
Yeah.
But now there's more to it.
It's more to it.
Just
Yeah.
a punch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know?
And that's what I teach him. I teach my fighter Ogana. I teach him a punch it's not just a punch.
Right.
Every punch that you throw, you should be doing something to slow him down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I teach you, there's certain points on the body that you hit. You hit. And I tell this, and I'll throw this out there. When a fighter goes up against the rope and he throws up high guard like this, you don't have to hit him in the head. Everybody throws the hooks to the head. Well, I'm here to wake people up a little bit. You could throw the punches right here to this shoulder to make his hands come down later in the rounds. Just like he's pointing, you could throw your punch right here to this muscle, right here. Okay? Right here to this muscle, right here. He's pointing them out because he knows, great fighters know how to break the body down. Like the shoulders, the solar plexus, and in the arm here. Okay?
Right there.
Right here. And what does it do to your arm? It drops your arm.
It locks your arm up, all that lactic acid.
Yes. Builds in. And guess what else? If you get hit right here, it's going to numb your arm. So I'm putting it out there. There's certain ways that you can break a fighter down. And so when they go up into that high guard, just like this, everybody starts throwing hooks at the head. What are your head helping for? You got the body that's right here. The arms are part of the body. Use the technique. Learn it. Use the technique.
That was a free lesson. See, my arm is numb right now.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Oh, you mean from me doing this?
Yeah, I felt it
Me
all
doing
the way
this,
down
right? Oh,
here.
you felt it all the way down there? Yeah, that's exactly what I teach my fighter. I teach my fighter, and I also did the same thing to him. I let him, I hit the nerve to let him see, and he's like, "Oh, coach, what's up?" And I was like, "Well, you got to understand. You have to understand what you can do to the body. There's certain places in the body, like people talk about pressure points, and they say, that stuff don't work. Wrong. Wrong.
Way
It
wrong.
does work. You got to know how to deliver the blow. You see?
The angle and direction.
The angle and the directions. You know, if you know how to do that.
What's the pressure point? Well, we ask Kirby first. Kirby,
Go ahead.
In your arm?
Yeah,
no, just general terms.
In general, what's the pressure?
Oh, pressure point is like basically a nerve of weakness is the way I would
A nerve
explain
of
it.
weakness. That's how she
Nerve
explains.
weak,
Okay.
yep.
What's the pressure point, Coach?
Okay, you want the long version or the short version?
Both.
You want both? Okay, well, I'll do the short version.
Short version.
Short version is basically a pressure point is where your blood flow is flowing the most. Okay, your blood flow is flowing the most right here. I'll do it on Robert. Right, bam, right here. Right here is the point. He's messing. You feel that in your finger? Okay, and I'm not putting hard pressure. I'm just barely touching him, and he feels that. Okay, and that is a pressure point. You know, I mean, if you take your finger and you put your hand right here by your nose, and you start doing this, you eventually hit that pressure point right here in the nose, and then you'll start feeling that numbness. Right there it is, right there. You start feeling that numbness right here. Okay, and you could do it to yourself, and you know, people can start to understand. Oh wow, that does work. So can you imagine getting hit with a knuckle, even if it's in the glove, with the knuckle in your pressure point? Hard enough, it's going to numb you.
Yeah,
that's a good answer. So my answer is a pressure point is a place in the body where a nerve or a group of nerves cross, split, or end.
Yes, that's right.
That's it.
That's it. Cross, split, or end.
That's
there
right.
we go.
When he touches there, that's why I can feel it all the way.
All the way, yes, all the way in the arm.
That nerve track.
And that's what people don't understand when it comes to the combining the Wing Chun with boxing.
They don't get it.
They complement each other very, very well.
Yeah,
So understanding how to break down the human body, no matter what pugilistic sport you're in, it makes a difference.
It does.
It makes a difference, you know.
Well, I learned real quick how my arm can go to sleep. I mean, I've experienced it several ways, but Robert told me to go to this seminar with Mike DePasquale up there in Jersey. Oh, go over there, Kirby. You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn some things. All right. I go over there. The guy's sitting here like this, and basically we had to swing. I mean, as hard as we could. All right. Well, you're gonna tell me that. I'm gonna try to take your head off. Stupid. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
I swung with everything I had, and the guy just sat here and just goes like this, and he just barely tapped me. And my arm was dead for about 15 minutes. I went back to him. I said, thanks. I learned how to get a dead arm. So, you know, what you were saying, definitely, that nerve, you know, it works. It really does. And my arm was just, I was like, you know, wake up, you know.
That day I was laughing. I was giggling. So
Yeah, he thought that was real funny. But it taught me, it did teach me. You know, and it taught me not only, you know, to watch out for that if something, you know, was happening on the street or whatever, but it also taught me, you know, oh, wow, that's simple.
Yeah.
Just play like you're playing with your hair. Just kind of.
Yeah. So remember what I said earlier when I was talking about defense, right? And we watched the video of James, and when I was saying, see how naturally he was moving?
Right.
Okay. Those moves that we're doing, those are simple moves.
Same thing.
Those are the basic moves of boxing. Ain't nothing fancy that's going on there. Those are very, very simple and very, very practical. And that's why he's able to pick it up and to perform like he was doing right there. And I was just telling him what to do. I was just saying, this is what I need you to do. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. And then that's when he started throwing the hook, and giving the uppercut and the hook. And then we finally, at the end, what do? We put it all together.
Yep.
There we go. Because we stayed very, very simple,
very
and very practical and patient. That's what people don't understand about fighting. Also, they gotta have patience with themselves.
They don't. You have to have the confidence. You have to have the patience.
Yeah.
You have to understand, no matter who you're competing against, if they're all out here, or you know, you have to understand how weak the human body really is.
Yeah.
You know, people see all those muscles. Well, the bigger the muscles, that means the more your nerves are stretched out.
Exactly.
Yes. It usually means you're pretty weak to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well, it just remember, you know, I mean, it's just that they just don't know the right techniques and how to apply it.
right.
You know, and see, that's the thing that people, again, they get that misconception is, yeah, I hit this guy and he did, you know, this happened, this and that. Well, if you'd hit him here, this would have
That's
happened.
what happened.
Okay, or you know what I mean? Then you wouldn't have to hit him here. You know what I mean? The guy would have been out of there if you'd hit him here, and if you knew how to apply it. Those are the things when you start watching people. It's like this: how many people are applying what they really know? You know what I mean? Those are the things.
Well, you know, I've always been a real strong believer. Size don't matter. And I mean, I'm not a very big person, and I think in my whole 44 years of training, I think I've maybe fought 3 people that was my size. Everybody else was, and no disrespect to big people, but they were Amazon size to me.
Right.
I mean, I'm fighting 6'2", 6'3" girls, and I'm like, where in the heck did you eat dinner at?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah.
And but I'll tell you, it wasn't. I can't say it was real easy. Some of them it was very easy for me to get in on. Others it was very hard. You know. And then there was a couple people that I did fight that was my size. That gave me a battle. Gave me a little bit of a battle because they were they were grounded like I was, and so they knew what shorter people would do, and I knew what shorter people would do. So it was like it really gave us a battle. But man, those big ones. Whew,
Yeah, no,
you got to move. You definitely got to work your ring, and you got to move because if you don't, well,
I'm just telling you, I hate fighting short people. I
Yeah.
like fighting the big. I hate fighting short people.
Honestly, for me, it don't matter.
me neither.
It doesn't matter to me whether it matters if you're big or small. It doesn't matter. I mean, you know, I've gotten to that point. It doesn't matter because
you need therapy.
he said me therapy.
Well, the truth is, if you're out on the street, you can't go, oh, you're too tall, I can't. You know, or hey, you're too short. You got to be able to do.
You got to do what you got to do.
You know, all sizes.
If I had my preference, if I had my preference, and I was out in the street and a short guy came to me, like, can we delay this for a week?
For a week or
so I
something.
can develop a strategy because I know you short guys have that lower center gravity and. Yeah, or do you have a big brother that maybe I can?
I mean, for me, I learned in the defense, you know, blocking those punches.
Yeah.
Blocking those punches and you know, I mean, it's not only just blocking the punches. There's other things that you do to take away their power and stuff like that. So you block the punch and you're always moving in about this much.
Yeah.
You know, and it's very, very subtle, and people don't notice it because, you know, while you blocking the punches, you slowly stepping in. You that distance and that gap is shrinking, and before they even realize it, you're already in their face, and they can't even figure out how you even got there. You know, and it's just like, well, I'm keeping you busy over here, and then I'm also stepping in, and you don't even see it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and then if a fighter does know what you're doing, they're going to be running the whole time. You know, they're going to be running and running and running. Be like, man, I ain't standing there in front of you.
Right.
Well, wait a minute, I'm the little guy.
Yeah.
So what you running for?
Yeah.
You got the advantage. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just a matter. It's just time.
I like the big ones.
Yeah.
I
like the
big
big
ones.
ones.
Yeah.
So, you know,
So what's next for you, Kirby?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, as far as movies, hopefully Soul Cage 2 will be coming out.
Jim, did you hear that?
Soul Cage 2.
Soul Cage 2. Okay.
Okay, Jim. Soul Cage 2.
And, you know, I do have a trip to Idaho that I'm going to go out to. I'm going to be working with a friend of mine of getting a couple scripts together. Thanks to Robert again. He's testing me. I've never done this. We got the template, but I know it'll get done.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go out there, do that. I'm going to do some hand-to-hand combat out there with a good friend of mine. Do some diving for this story he's got. He wants to be able to do some diving and stuff in it. So that should be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And then hopefully, well, not hopefully, next year I got to make it to Dragon Fest. I didn't make it this year.
We had a blast.
I bet you did.
Yeah.
Well, I was all walking miles in the heat.
We had our booth set up. We had a blast.
So yeah, so I'm just looking forward to a lot of awesome things coming up.
I hear that. That sounds like it'd be fun. In fact, I think I saw you at Dragon Fest on Facebook.
Yeah.
You were shaking someone's hands that was that there. Yeah,
so everybody came to visit our booth. We had our little soul cage things out.
Yeah.
We had,
I saw that online.
Cinda Williams was with us.
Yeah.
So she was signing autographs. And, one of the vendors down there came up to me, and he owns this, I guess, this video service.
Mm-hmm.
I think Chris Mackey. He came up to me, bam, slapped a copy of Jackson Bolt.
Oh wow! You slapped it down on the table.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool.
I said, I think that's you.
Right? Yeah, that's cool.
And he gave it to me.
And he gave it to you. Yeah, that's
Like,
cool.
oh, thank you, man.
That's good. Yeah, see, that's good. That's pretty cool. That's pretty
We
cool.
had a blast.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice when people recognize you. You're walking down the street or something like that, and they say, "Hey, you're the person from that movie Soul Cage." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Such person. It's not. It's nice to do it because like I said, people still see me. They still say, "Hey, Tony, what's up, man? What's going on? You're so funny." It is nice. So it does feel good. It feels good.
It does.
When people know you and your
To
face.
be recognized
Yeah,
for all
it
the
is
hard
nice.
work.
Yeah.
Really hard work. And then let me tell you, Kirby did a fantabulous job on Soul Cage.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you were surprised at yourself, weren't you?
I was.
You're right.
But that all stems back to, your first time out working with somebody,
Exactly.
good or bad.
Yeah.
Well, I got good. I got a great crew.
That's good.
I got a great crew I worked with, and I had a lot of support, a lot of encouragement. He didn't give up on me because I'll be honest, I didn't know what the hell I was doing when I walked in there. I was like, cry?
Yeah.
I can't cry.
Yeah.
And I still can't cry on cue. It's very hard. But yeah, so
She
teachers.
killed it.
Yeah.
She's
I believe
been humble.
I believe it.
I'm gonna let you see it.
Okay.
I gotta let you see
Okay.
it.
All right. Well, but what makes it a lot easier is when you all have something in common. When you have something in common, that makes things a lot easier. I mean, it's just like all three of us. We all did some sort of fighting.
Mhm.
So we all have something in common. So we can sit here and we can talk probably all day long about fighting and not get bored
All day.
all day
Yeah.
long about fighting. And by having something in common with other people, it bridges the gap.
Right.
And that's the same thing in boxing, MMA, in point fighting, kung fu, whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
You have that understanding, and you guys got something in common, so you can come together and have a good time and just talk about it. And then people gain knowledge from that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They can't gain the experience if they never did it before, but they gain the knowledge. Hey man, wow! From my understanding, these guys got a lot in common, and it just flows. You know what I mean? It just flows. It just flows.
Mhm.
Well, when we met, Robert and I, he only heard from another friend of mine, a mutual friend of ours, and that I was a brick breaker and this and that.
Mhm.
And so in Jackson Bolt, my first get my feet wet, what the heck am I doing kind of thing.
Mhm.
He's also, Kirby, where can you put your foot? Thank God I didn't answer like I normally would answer. Because I was kind of in a rough area. I just lost my mom, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
And I was thinking, okay. He goes, well, can you put it up here? I go, yeah, I can put it up there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Bert was really shocked because the camera
Camera.
guy, Robert goes, did you get that? He goes, it was too quick. So, and then the more we talked, we actually found out that we had a lot in common.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a video at one point in time after we got to know each other, he sent me, and then I sent him a video of me fighting, and it's like, wait, who's your mom? 'Cause, we fight exactly alike. I mean, we got the same favorite kicks and a lot of that stuff. So him and I, we got a lot in common, which
That's
is
good.
awesome.
That's
awesome.
good. That's a good thing.
So-
That's always a good thing. You know what I mean?
It is.
Yeah, that's a
Kirby
good
is fantabulous as a martial artist, as an actress,
Mhm.
as a friend. She knows how busy I am, right?
Yeah.
And out of the blue, she'll just check up on me.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's a
Nothing
good
wrong
thing.
with it. See, I'm bad at that
Yeah.
because I'm so engaged in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Hey, brother, did you do your laundry today? Yep, I did it.
I know. Getting engaged into doing a lot because the coaching.
Mhm.
I'm doing with the coaching, with the podcast, and also with the 21st Century Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
You get
engaged.
you get engaged in it because there's so much that you're trying to do, and then you got other things that you got to do too that doesn't have anything to do with that, like your chores and all this other stuff, and you just get and it makes it gets. It's not tough, but it makes it very, very challenging.
Very challenging.
It
very,
is.
very challenging to get everything done.
My world is very busy, and it's like I live off a calendar now.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like,
Yeah.
hey, Robert, do you remember this? You got this? Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep. Thanks.
So, I'm gonna do better.
I'll mention this. I'll mention this again. I think I told you before, but I'll mention this again. I have a platform that's on Roku TV, which is which is BPTV, which stands for Boxing Profiles TV. But Boxing Profiles, because I have two different platforms. We got the platform Boxing Profiles for the podcast, and then we got BPTV on Roku. So the two, for me, and I'm looking to put, like I said, more and more content on the channel itself, so people can go there and they can do it. It's free to sign up and all that kind of stuff. But like I said, what I wanted to do is my goal is to get boxing back on television, and not only just boxing. I mean, just kind of like an all type of a sports channel, but it's not only covering just boxing. It's doing. You can go there for movies. You can go there for different things. Like I said, we're just getting started. It's going to take time to build it, but at the same time, I know there's people out there that's looking for a platform to put their thing, put some of their content on, and I'm just saying I'm here and available for it to,
So I've got a lot of people who would be interested in that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's even talk about putting Soul Cage.
Yeah, even Soul Cage, putting that on there too.
What else do we have? Soul Cage. That's already licensed. Got it licensed. It'll be out September 13th. Mad as Hell will be out September 13th.
Yeah. I've been also I don't know if you guys go through the Rights Trade Commission, but I have basically I'm a vetted member of the Rights Trade Commission. So in order for any movies and things like that, usually you got to go through them, and then once you go through them, they vet you, and then the owners of the actual movie and stuff like that, they kind of ask you questions. It's kind of another vetting process. Oh yeah, we can get you we'll give you the license to do it and stuff. So it is I was really surprised on this business. It's a lot going on, in this business that you got to know and stuff. So I'm just like, wow. I learned something here, so there's a lot, that people don't know. People just think you just grab this and put this on your channel and it's like, no, not in this industry. You gotta be licensed and all this other stuff. So yeah, and just to let them know, hey, I am boxing. BPTV is vetted. We are vetted through the Rights Trade Commission. So which is pretty cool.
It's very cool.
It is, because it's hard. I'll be honest, it's hard. It was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard.
It's not easy.
It wasn't easy at all. So I was like, okay, so now it's again getting the content, on there.
Get you some content. We'll get you some content.
Yeah.
So
so I mean, even point karate.
We've got matches.
Champions and championships and things like
got
that.
Matches. There's a.
I'm going to be the next kickboxing champion.
The next kickboxing champion. Okay.
We can work on that.
Yeah.
We can work on that.
Yeah.
I've got some, and Kirby and I can supply you with some of our old matches, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I got one on Facebook right now that a student of mine sent me that I haven't seen in
years.
Yeah. I think I fought in that tournament when I was like 26, 27 years old.
Wow.
See, I was...
And were you like 72?
This knee says I'm 72.
I'm going to say you're 72. Yeah.
I think I got some killer fights from when I was 21.
Yeah. I mean, I have some content that's out on YouTube and things like that, but the film is just so old though.
See, that's mine are all on
It's
VHS.
so
I need to transfer them to.
It's so
To,
old,
CD.
man. It's just so old. And I'll show it the next time we do something like that. I'll show it next time. I won't do it this time. I'll show it next time. You have to go to. I think you would have to go to.
I'm gonna show you this.
Oh, you're gonna show the.
I'm gonna show it to you when it's on my Facebook page.
Okay.
This is me when I was. Where's the page?
You'll find it.
Right there. There's my page. Okay. I'm gonna turn the sound down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's us live. Yay. 20. I think I was 27 when I did this.
27 years old?
Yeah. Here it is. So you can see I'm fighting this tall guy.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't a run officer grand champion.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Okay, who's in the white?
That's me.
Yeah.
Why? because what?
What? Everybody's paying attention to you.
Everybody
That
pays
was the
attention.
first thing I noticed as soon as you turned the video on. I was looking right at the person with the white on. That's exactly it. Isn't that amazing? And the other person got the black on. That is amazing.
Strategy.
It's a good strategy. Yeah, it's a great strategy.
So you see I'm having difficulty finding this gentleman with my
Mhm.
kicks because he's a little taller.
Right, right.
So I'm just gonna back fist him to
Mhm.
death.
Mm-hmm.
So here's one.
Well, there's another hook. There's a kick that you could use that would work.
Well, the way he was standing,
Yeah.
it wouldn't. I couldn't reach him.
Mm-hmm. But I know a kick that you could use that you could reach him.
switch feet.
I didn't want to go open close on him. I wanted to stay open on him.
Oh, you would say, okay, all right, okay. Hook kick, come around the
Yeah.
front.
Yeah, he has this. We're all see how he's kind of standing
Yeah.
there tall, but back just a little bit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow.
I love that runaway, throw your foot out. I love
Yeah.
that one.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that on BPT.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind putting that on there. That's good. That's good.
I don't have any of my videos, but here's a good night kick.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
There you go.
Ooh.
Beautiful.
That was just
Ooh.
perfect.
Nice. That's a nice hook kick right there.
Yeah.
Right to the head. Night night.
Yeah,
Woo.
exactly.
Absolutely.
Wow. Amazing. Yeah. Those are the type of things that yeah.
We'll put them on
those are nice.
BP. So
Yeah.
let's close this.
Yeah.
It's 4 o'clock.
Yeah. Wow.
I got
We on that long?
5.
Yeah. Wow. 2 hours and 11 minutes on the boxing profile.
But we love this stuff.
Love it. Having a great time.
Honestly, we need to have a BP marathon. One day we have to come here at about 10 o'clock and finish whenever we finish.
Hey, that's fine with me.
That's cool, man.
I'm cool. Cool with it. I'm cool with it.
Yeah. I'm
So,
sorry.
folks, again, at BPTV, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna close this out. And again, if you like this sort of content, go ahead, like, subscribe to the channel. Okay. All right. And again, I'm here with Robert Parham and Kirby Delani. All right. And I'm Tony Prince. You guys remember it. Keep punching. Don't get punch drunk. Peace. We're out.
Peace.